Here we are, folks, back to Championship Sunday at the Remax Curling Center, bringing you the ladies' final of the 2024 edition of the Rick Rowsell Classic event. And we should have a beauty here today, folks. Sarah Boland versus Brooke Godsland in the final. Both teams been playing very well all weekend to get to this point, and we look forward to a beauty game. On the mic with me is Emily Neary, my co-host. And Emily, what do you think?
I think this is going to be a really exciting game here, Mark. We've seen both these teams play very, very well this weekend, and I think we're in for a really nice game and a really close matchup this afternoon.
I agree. Sarah Boland, because of her record, had to bye directly to the final, but Team Godsland stole the game this morning against Stacey Curtis. I only witnessed the last couple of ends, but some great shots that were being made by both teams. And this should be a beauty. So we're off now in the first end. And this is Boland's team's first rock. Godsland, they put the guard out front to start. We'll get some times on some of the draw weights here now, and we'll go from there.
Tell me Brayton's leave stand. As you said, Carter Holden. So on the road, I hear there's been a debate over the remote. So coach
And this rock is looking pretty close here. It's been pretty quick this weekend. So
I did notice this morning when I watched the last couple of ends of the ladies semifinal, the ice seemed to be a little straighter today than yesterday and previously earlier in the weekend. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And what was the time on that one there?
Didn't quite get the time on that one, but it's looking to be about a 15 there.
Okay, so it's pretty much game speed right off the bat here.
Yeah, pretty standard to the speed we've been seeing the rest of the week as well.
That's a nice shot right off the block. Steam tricky to make that
We alluded yesterday to the difference in the conditions that the teams play on today versus 30 and 40 years ago. Back in the 80s, if you had rocks that ran draw weight from hog to hog and you had something at 11 seconds, it was normal. 12 seconds would have been considered fast. Now today, if you have a 12-second draw weight, it's considered slow. And now the top teams on the Grand Slam circuit and the national championships and on a number of clubs that put a lot of effort into their ice, now teams are used to playing on 14, 15, 16-second ice week after week after week. And with ice that quick and with the amount of curl the teams get now and how good the brushing is, there's not many shots that good players can't make.
100%. Bringing the sweepers into the game has been a big thing in recent years, and we've seen just how much that increases the caliber of play that we're seeing across the board.
Well, Team Godsland, Camille Burt was a bit heavy on her second rock and giving a bit of an advantage back to Team Boland here, but again, Adrian Mercer just a little bit long again.
Now, Mark, I had that clocked at about a 14-3 from hog to hog, so a bit...
They never swept it much, so it's probably 15 or 15-5.
Yeah. I think this should be pretty close for game speed here today. And you'll see Brooke now calling just for the drawdown on top of those two blue. I guess, Mark, we can get started with some introductions to the teams here. You guys have definitely seen these two teams play this week already. But here we have Team Godsland with yellow rocks. Skipping is Brooke Godsland. At third, we see Erin Porter. Second is Sarah McNeil-Lambswood. And lead, Camille Burt. And we have Team Boland with the Blue Stones this afternoon with Sarah Boland at skip, Kelly Sharp at third, Beth Hamilton at second, and Adrian Mercer at lead. And these are some pretty popular names we got out here today, Mark.
Yeah, well, both teams come in with a wealth of experience. I know on Team Boland, I think between the four of them, they have 17 Scotties appearances, a number of juniors, and a number of mixed. So not much is going to scare them, and they've played a number of tournaments on tour over the years. With Team Godsland, again, we have 6 Scotties, but we have multiple juniors, multiple mixed, and I know Sarah McNeil-Lambswood just lost a junior final 2 years ago, along with my co-host here in 2023. So, again, another team with a lot of experience, played a number of top teams on tour before, and so, again, as we've already alluded to, should be a beauty game. But a couple of miscues early by Team Godsland, and Godsland is in trouble here. And she does not have, no, she has the hammer. I thought Boland, because of the record, had the hammer in the first end.
That is correct. Boland does have the hammer. So let's switch that for you guys at home really quick.
Here we go.
So yes, Boland does in fact have the hammer because of their record coming into the final here.
So Godsland needs a good shot here out of Sarah McNeil-Lambswood. They need to get rid of some of that blue granite. And the rock they're trying to hit is open, pretty much. And I think there's a double. If you hit it just right, you might be able to squeeze all three of them out. And it's going to be pretty close here.
I don't know if the weight call gets all three out, but hopefully she gets that one scooted. Yeah, that's
a good shot.
That's pretty
Got
good.
rid of one and opened it up.
Moving some stuff around.
Looks a lot better now than it did 30 seconds ago.
Exactly. That's a nice rock there from Sarah McNeil-Lambswood.
Again, Sarah now has only had a junior a year or two, and an excellent young player who, as she puts a bit more effort into it, will only get a lot better, and she's already very, very good. So a lot of good young talent here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and especially here at the Remax Center.
And speaking of which, Mark, I'd like to do a quick shout out to the three junior teams that played the Rick Rowsell this weekend. We had Team Locke and Team Blandford on the women's side, who you'll see play the U18 provincials now in a couple of weeks, and we had Team French on the men's side, who will also be playing the U18s. So definitely some more exciting spiels coming for the junior teams.
Absolutely.
You can expect to see them around for a while yet. So very, very good showing from those three junior teams this weekend.
So a big shot here again now for Team Godsland, playing the hit and roll. And I think this is going to be thrown by the third stone, Aaron Porter. Another experienced person with a long list of national participation, and a former multiple junior champion and Scottish champion. And she's, okay, she never quite got the roll, but she did make not quite a double, but she pushed one of Boland's rocks a little farther out. But there's a chance here. I think they might be able to squeeze one of the yellow rocks out, if not two, and lie a couple potentially. But I think the shot here, I think she shot rock. I think Boland, the blue rock at the back of the 8 foot, I think is shot rock. So I think Boland's just going to play the draw into the 4 foot, top 4 part of the 4 foot behind that center line guard. There we go.
That would be, I think that's the call here, Mark.
Absolutely.
Get one in behind that center and deal with the rest after.
Well, she's only a 2-ender in the first end is a big end, is a good start. So she has the hammer. So if Kelly Sharp can get around here in front of the tee line, it would bode well to get potentially set them up for a deuce to open the scoring.
Looks like this one's hanging out a little wide here to start. Might be a hair on the heavier side as well.
Well, it's going to come right down in the back ones. I don't know if they're going to touch the blue. They did. But they rolled in front of the yellows. I don't know. I don't think there's much that Team Godsland can do with that one. I think if you attempt to try to pick it out, you're going to kill one of your yellows. And at most, you're only going to get one blue out, and you could give Boland back a straight hit to lie 3 or something. So I think the shot here is to freeze on that back one and then see what Team Boland does.
just bump it back and sit in front of
I do like the freeze here, Mark.
Well, you can freeze, or you can just play
Or
around
just
the,
play
around the center
around.
guard to the top of the
Exactly.
button, top of the 4-foot, and be shot there.
Freeze on the blue is pretty hard to take out, but get behind that guard is pretty good as well, and
Put a roll too far in the first one, so we'll see what she can do here.
for sure.
Still, the ice, they seem like they got lots of room here.
Like you said this morning, with the ice being a hair straighter,
They're trying to hold the line on this. Don't want to roll off it. Okay, not bad.
That's pretty good.
Not bad, yep.
I think Brooke will be happy with that one.
Yeah, that rock is okay. They got a good result on that.
And of course, Greg Smith, a very well-known name here in Newfoundland. So they're on a roll, and they want to keep it up. Now here's Simmons' shot. It's like they're really nice weight there. It's sort of sweet with the line.
Now Boland's got a bit of a decision to make here, whether she wants to make a play on that. And
Yeah, I think she's just playing. Boy, she just. It looks like they're playing like border weight to try to unlock the freeze a bit, maybe get a little bit extra separation to set up something in a rock to come down the road.
considering she has hammer as well,
But she doesn't want to roll off though, Emily. She wants to get it right in the nose here.
exactly. And considering that she has hammer here, she's got to move something around to try and have an opportunity for two here.
surgical triple.
They're working hard on this. Going to be tight by the guard. Oh,
Unfortunately, just a
okay.
bit too tight there.
One of those shots.
This is an interesting
I think she might have been a
situation.
little tight. I thought the ice looked pretty good for the weight she was throwing, and her weight was what Sarah Boland had called for.
I agree.
So she might have just been a little tight, and it hit the center line too soon, and crossed it and hit the guard.
As he touched that just enough,
But now Brooke needs to probably put a guard on this.
was not only a game saver, but it's a complete
Saw her motion for the freeze here.
You
but
can't leave it too far out though, because then you're going to give Boland a chance to come around and sit on it. But if you put a guard, Boland may just take a crack and run it back, run it through.
Simmons, you want somebody to make a good shot at the right time. Simmons is got it.
What do you think, Emily?
I saw Brooke call the nose freeze. I don't think that's the worst thing you could do, but it's definitely a tough shot to make, and you need to make it.
The nose freeze, if you're offline, if it freezes, but she's on the outside, or on the side of the broom, only half and half, there's an opportunity for Boland to blast them and get two of them out. Because the one the yellow was frozen to, that blue in the middle, is not going anywhere.
For sure. Which is why it's important that if you're gonna call this, you got to make it perfect. There's no minimal room for error here.
I think if you could throw it hard enough, the way they're lined up right there, you can get rid of 3 yellows
Absolutely.
and still lie 3. Well, this is good. I think this rock, if it just comes to the full 8 foot, it's fine.
Absolutely.
So give Simmons.
It's just got to be deep enough so that that Sarah can't
The line
play that
looks-
draw around,
The line
right?
looks pretty good. You need to get a little bit deeper,
Yeah,
but they're starting to lose the line on it a little bit here now.
yeah.
Time carried this.
Okay, not bad.
I think they would have liked that a little deeper,
A
but
little deeper, but being out that far gives Boland an opportunity to come around and lock on to the yellow. Well, she's going to feel it.
He's got literally, you can only put the rock in one place to see what you're there. This guy is, good chunk of the
Well, by playing this shot, she's giving up on her 2, I would think.
real tough situation.
And right now, she's in her mind figures she's going to have to draw to 1 foot or make a hit and stay to get 1.
Now for him and
now, Mark, if she can make this run back on that yellow and kick that out to the side,
Well,
like we were talking
I
about
don't.
earlier.
I don't think she's playing the run back. I think she's just trying to open it up.
if there was a
Now they're playing it on this side, so you might get some action on the shooter that comes off the outside yellow one and rolls down into the 8 foot maybe.
We'll see what happens here now. Rock coming down the sheet. Really looking for some curl here.
Okay, just open it up the front. Just open up the front.
It's what she called.
Now if Brooke comes down and can put it top of the 4 foot here, I don't think you need to freeze it. If you put it top of the 4 foot, then that leaves an opportunity for Boland has to make a decision. Does she draw the pin against 2, or does she play the hit and try to double them out? If you play the hit, there's a chance you could jam it and
Absolutely.
steal the 2. So
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
It all depends. If it comes to the 8 foot, I think that Boland will play the draw. If it comes in deeper than that to the top of the one, I think she'll just play the hit, even if she gives up one. But she's not going to take a chance of drawing against two in it, and where both rocks are in and around the 1 foot.
Absolutely. And this just goes to show how the game is really a matter of inches. Talking about getting that rock top 8 compared to top 4 compared to frozen is that's only a few inches in the difference between all of those, but they all have pretty different outcomes when you think about it. So
it looks the same as this party. Is that a party?
She got a lot of room here. Coming up there now.
it's looking pretty good here, Mark, but I think they just called the straight freeze there.
Okay.
That's a nice shot from Brooke Godsland.
So I don't know if they can score one. Because to get rid of that top one, the second yellow is not going anywhere. And all she got to do is roll to get that top one out. She's going to roll more than 2 feet.
St. John's going to game from St. John's, Newfoundland. This is the,
So I think this is a good rock by Brooke Godsland.
Absolutely.
I think she's going to ensure herself at least a steal. Now the thing about this, if she hits the yellow rock too full and you don't get that top one out, you only got to roll 1.5 feet and you're giving up a steal of 2.
Exactly.
maybe a bit of a time saver in scoring.
Yeah, Rob, I actually.
Well, Brooke's guaranteed happy with this end. She's sitting in a really nice spot and forcing Boland to make a really good rock here, to even just cut them down to 1. Steal of 1 at that.
This is going to be close.
I'd really like to get home and watch the Steelers play the Eagles at 5:55 today, so I hope
It's a steal of 1 for sure.
But I think
And looks like third Kelly Sharp indicated that was in fact a steal of 2 for Godsland.
That's a big start if that's a steal of 2 for Brooke Godsland. But that's sort of what we mentioned before that shot was thrown. You had to hit the thing to make sure you got 1 out, even if you give up well, you couldn't. You're not playing the score. You're going to give up a steal of 1. The thing is, if you hit it too thick, which she did, shooter's rolling off anyway. It's how much can you spill that top one?
Exactly. So we'll update the score here now, and we'll be back for the second end in just a few moments. All right, folks, and we're back at the 2024 Rick Rowsell Classic, the women's final here on sheet 4. We had Godsland with a big steal of 2 in the first end. Now in the second end here. And we saw Godsland play a draw to the 4 foot, just slipping a bit deep there. And looks like Boland called for a corner and just slipped in the house, unfortunately, which gives Brooke Godsland the opportunity to hit this blue one and remove that from play. like to do a quick shout out for the team sponsors here. Of course, sponsors are such a big part of the game and really necessary for improving in the game as well, allowing for out of province travel and just the support is always great. That's an unfortunate miss there from Brooke Godsland. Just jammed on that back yellow there. To start, we have sponsors for Team Godsland, our Bud and Spud, Attain Physiotherapy and Sports Performance Center, Barn Fine Eggs, World Energy GH2, and Hardline Curling. And of course, sponsors also for Team Boland, we have Elliott Group Incorporation, Atlantic Offshore Medical Services, Hardline Curling, Signal Property Management, Pinnacle Engineering Limited, Steers Insurance, and Eggs Canada. So big thanks to all those sponsors for supporting these teams, allowing them to play the game, and do what they do best. And there we have a nice corner there from Team Boland. Might have wanted that to curl just a bit more. Still a little close to the center, so now you'll see Team Godsland try and play that come around there. Considering that blue is still covering, that blue guard is still covering part of the forefoot there. And welcoming back co-host Mark Noseworthy. How are your short-term travels there?
Short-term travels were excellent.
Amazing.
Thank you for asking, Emily. Oh, I just got to stretch the back. All this sitting makes my back bad. So we're here in the second end. And we got a couple of rocks in play here. Brooke is coming around the corner guard now, trying to stop in front of the tee line. I think Godsland is shot rock in the say 2 o'clock position if you're looking at our angle in the 12 foot. I think that's shot over the back blue one.
Now, Mark, for our viewers at home who aren't as familiar with the game of curling, why would you want this rock to stop in front of the tee line?
You go behind the tee line, you're just going to give an advantage back to the other team that they can come and sit on top of you. If you're in front of the tee line, most times the other team would have to move that rock. And this is not a... Well, she hung on to line 1-2, but it's not where they wanted it.
Unfortunately, just getting a bit heavy there on that one.
Well, as I used to tell you, Emily, when I coached the junior team, when you're heavy, you're taking your sweepers out of the picture, and it's just you versus the ice. When you're a little shorter, you engage your person in the head, you engage your sweepers, and there's a much higher percentage then of making the exact shot you want, and the sweepers can put it exactly where they need to put it. But when a person is heavy, that doesn't exist. You're then trying to wing and a prayer, as they say, trying to make your shot.
That's what it becomes.
This looks like it's going to get by the guard, albeit tight, and it just squeaks by. Some good sweeping there.
I think she actually got a little.
She might have
feathered it just a hair.
Might have just straightened it out. Yep. I like this call. Slash the guard in, opens it up even if you don't make it, and then you're playing in the rings. So
Absolutely.
Brooke's up 2. She'll be happy to play in the rings because at some point in time she might end up having a double attempt. And this is only about 4 feet separation, so there's a good chance to make contact with the second rock here. You're sweeping, it's going to be close. Oh, that's about probably the worst outcome they could have got, where they jammed it right at the back. Now, you've tried to do that. It would be very difficult.
It would, Mark. Unfortunately, there's usually just a singular spot where you can hit a rock, and the outcome is the worst outcome possible, but sometimes that's how it goes.
Boland's just trying to split the rings here now to lie 3. So Team Godsland's going to have some work cut out. Or they might need to catch a break from Team Hill or Team Boland. Now, a fun fact that a lot of people might not know is that Sarah Boland is a black belt in Taekwondo.
Had no idea, Mark.
So, to the people out there watching, don't screw with her. He's tough as nails.
I don't expect any weight here. I think we'll just see some control weight. I don't know whether he's anxious more than that.
This looks like it's going to be pretty good.
He's going to be more about the role and position.
I think they were trying to get a little further to the wing here, but it's a nice draw, T-line.
Third, team time and third. Nick Cotton.
Brooke Godsland has a couple of options here. She can run the top one back. She can play a hit and roll on the one that was just thrown. I think I prefer the hit and roll here. I think it gives you the best chance of a get out of jail free card.
I agree here, Mark. I like the hit and roll here, and
You just can't roll out. You just
Exactly.
gotta, even if you roll too far to be shot, you just can't roll out. You gotta roll somewhere in the 8 foot or the edge of the 4 on the right hand side of the sheet here.
and some people here might be inclined to just try and make a double here somewhere, but I think this is a smart call playing the hit and roll behind because it forces Sarah Boland to make a good rock afterwards to follow up.
The only real double here is the top one on the back one. It's 7 feet apart, so it's a much tougher double. I think you play this roll here now, and you might have an easier double a shot or two down the road.
Exactly.
They're trying to hold the line here.
Big sweep here for Sarah McNeil-Lambswood. And
They
just
got a little
didn't,
roll, but not quite
not
enough.
quite.
Well, what that does do, that stops, it rolled enough that Team Boland can't hit that and roll to the outside because they would jam it on the black-blue one. So that means Boland's going to have to hit and roll underneath her own. Now, that double is only 4 feet apart
There
as
you
opposed
go.
to 7. So now it's it'll be a much more accessible double, assuming that Kelly Sharper can flip underneath that top blue one. It's got a bit of curling to do, folks. It's got a bit of curling to do. Well, she got away with it, and she killed one of her own, and she hung on it. So it looks to me like they're lying 3. And a lot of distance between all of them. I think if you're a Brook, you play the hit and roll back in. And if it doesn't come up quite enough to get the roll, you might get fortunate and get that double. And you might not even need the double if you can push it back a foot. That brings the yellow one back into first or second shot rock.
Definitely a couple options here.
Yep. She doesn't want to stay there. She wants to roll over back into the middle. Because if she hits and stays there, Boland's going to try to hit and stay out there also.
I think you're just right in a way here. I do like your idea of just tapping it.
Looks close.
I guess you're putting one more variable in.
Like
That's
you
a
said,
great
Mark,
shot.
catching that double, that's a really
Made the
nice
double
rock
and
there.
roll up, and she Team Godsland now is shot rock at the back. Situation looks a lot better now for Team Godsland than it did 3 or 4 rocks ago.
Absolutely. Really nice rock there from Aaron Porter.
Setting up a really good shot of the 2 and possible 3 here. Throws it so
Yeah, I like this call by Team Boland. She's just going to play a split on the top one and try to lie second and third or first and third. I don't think she can lie 1-2. I don't think the angles are quite there, but she can definitely lie 1 and 3, or even if it's second and third. Puts a bit of pressure back on Team Godsland then, and you're down to skips rocks. And then Boland might have a crack at a double, maybe for a deuce to tie the game up.
I think, Mark, with the sweepers coming into play a lot more in recent years as well.
Close. It's going to be pretty close here, Emily. Just has to curl a little tiny bit. Oh, no, she got by, but she's going to chip the back one. Okay. I don't think that was the call, but it works out that they're now line 2 again.
That's probably the best way you could miss that rock.
That's about the best way you could. Absolutely. That's what you call the pro side miss.
There you go.
Again, it was the proper weight to make the split. And if you get by, she was going to get the back one, which is exactly what happened.
That's a big thing in curling too, Mark. Just having those backup plans in your head as you're seeing the rock come down the sheet, especially from who's in the house, and talking about those, just so that if by chance you do get those slight misses, there's oftentimes another shot that you can turn to.
Well, the thing about the plan B shot is you got to know that's an option before the person shoots.
Exactly.
So if the primary shot is not going to be on, you need to know that halfway down the sheet. Sometimes if you realize too late, you're not going to make the primary shot. It's too late to make an adjustment and capitalize on plan B.
Exactly.
So if plan B is going to come into play, you got to know early in the shot release that that's going to be an option. So it looks to me like Brooke is going to take a crack at that long double.
I am surprised by that. I thought that other double.
Brooke Godsland is a pretty good hitter.
That's a pretty standard call to there, Mark. She gets rid of the top one. That's great. She
Well,
gets the
they're up
back
two,
one.
so
Awesome.
they don't want to get caught giving up three here.
Exactly.
Just don't want to jam it on that back yellow.
Really got
No,
to
I think
sweep.
she's fine.
And just getting that top one there.
All he needs is a piece
So Boland's going to come around that yellow one. I think blue was shot.
The two and the three, so much bigger than the two at any time. I mean, now they get a deuce here. Of course, they're only at one, and then the other team has last shot. You go two. Now you're sort of sitting pretty. Now the other team's got to get a deuce on it. So big
A little bit of discussion here in the back end for Team Boland, just trying to decide where the best place to put this rock is.
No, she don't want to come deep here because it might give Goslin an out. But if she makes this perfect, I think Goslin just hits the back one and gives up two. She doesn't want to bring three into play.
For sure.
She can live with giving up a deuce, and she gets the hammer back, which is fine.
Turns into a 6-end game.
Yep.
For Simon Perry to go up on Andrew Simmons after two hits.
We'll see what this draw weight is here now.
So we'll take a quick break for you, and we'll come back with the third and action. You're right back there. You're second in, isn't it?
I don't think second hand here now.
Okay, I'll wait till I get that finished.
So here we are now. Sarah Boland about to shoot her first rock, trying to get around some cover. And if she can make this, she'll make Goslin have to make a decision if she wants to stop a two-ender or bring three into play. But again, you got to make this shot first. I seem to be sweeping out of here now, just not too much. Line just starting to bend here now.
It's looking a bit light here, Mark.
Ooh, a little short.
Got a 16-1 on that, folks.
I think right now, Goslin can just hit that back one and roll away and live 1-2.
That's what I'd be calling here, Mark.
That seems to be the easiest shot because when this end started, Brooke would have been happy forcing Boland to one. So you got an open takeout. You don't have to stay. Just make it go away. And you'll live 1-2. I don't think there's a double opportunity for Boland to get more than one. And so the thing about if you roll away, that may be splittable for two, but it's a tough shot. So if you can ever play this and just hang on, but I think if you hang on back here, you're going to bring that top rock into play, and if you touch it, you're giving up three.
Yeah, I think you'll see Brooke just try and get rid of this one and roll away. Teams that have this much experience are typically pretty good at playing the scoreboard, and I guarantee you Brooke knows that she can't bring three into this. So
Yep. Yeah, this is a big shot here. They don't seem to, not much panic on it, so the line must be pretty close. Trying to curl it a bit
a little
for
bit
now.
of curl here. Really looking to move this.
Just got to touch it. Okay.
And there it
So,
is.
Yellow line 2. Now, that split
Gene Perry as they up to.
Split may be there. Looks to me like the angle is there. Now you just got to make sure you don't throw too much weight in case you do miss it. You don't want to go through the rings. She needs to throw like back 8-foot weight here,
Exactly.
and that way if you don't make the split, if you over curl, you just tap yours up for one. If you don't curl enough, you just hang around in the back of the 8-foot to make sure you get your one. And if you hit it when you need to hit it, well, you have a shot at 2.
Looks set up pretty nice here, Mark. Again, like you said, this isn't an easy shot, but
Now, this is a sweepers type of shot.
for sure.
Where you got to give it a chance. You can't overthrow it. You can throw T-line here, and with the sweeping available, you still might, like, as far as 2 pretty good sweepers on Team Boland here. So it's a makeable shot, albeit a tough shot. But we'll see what Sarah Boland does here now.
Now Simon Perry is falling for the center guard on those 2 rocks that are in that are touching the center line in the house.
It's aggressive calls here, so this is going to be an end, an interesting end.
Not touching up. She's trying to bend it a bit here now. The line might be a hair wide.
With that one in there behind, now, I mean, all of a sudden.
Line's starting to get better here now, but no, I don't think she's going to touch it.
So, good guard here. And then
Now, is it going to hang on? Is it going to hang on for Aaron Porter's on it?
something else in behind her. Start feeling it.
And I think it's a steal at 2.
This is Braden Snow, the second for
Fortunately, just didn't hang on at the back there.
That's what we talked about, Emily. If you don't make contact, you can't throw any more than back 8-foot weight. And
Exactly.
We're in the back to 12-foot. She never made contact. It looks like it's a steal at 2.
I think 3 of them are at 1, and
That's a big steal at 2.
Carter Holden.
Yeah, that's
Complete control of the game has now shifted to Team Brooke Godsland.
The early years of the college.
Yep.
Up 4-0.
That's an unfortunate miss there for Sarah Boland.
And both those opening deuces have been stolen. So Team Boland back on their heels here now early in this game. They're going to have to come out now all in the third. Because if you look at the scoreboard now, with 6 ends to go, for them to win the game in 6 ends, you assume they would have to hammer 3 times, and Godsland would have it 3 times, but they have to outscore Godsland by 5 points in 6 ends. Very big hill to climb here, folks. Very big.
So we'll take a short break here, and we will see you guys shortly for the third end here.
Clear the front there. And
All right, folks, back for the third end of the women's final at the 2024 Rick Rowsell Classic. We have Team Godsland leading 4-0 after 2, with Team Boland still sticking around with the hammer, trying to work some magic here. Nice corner there from lead Adrian Mercer. And we also had a nice draw there by lead Camille Burt for Godsland to sit just back 4 here. Had an unfortunate miss there on Sarah Boland's last rock of the second end just got a little wide and on the split there, and was unfortunately just a bit too heavy to stick around for one. So that was a big steal of 2 for Team Godsland. And it's going to be a game of catch-up now for Team Boland for the next 6 ends. Another nice draw here from lead Camille Burt.
Great shot there. Somewhere so he makes the run back and beats that. It does make the corner guard for Simmons. That's what he wanted. But some great shot makes going on there. The middle of the game, the third end, and 8 ends, of course, in this, so you can't wait too long to make your move.
Yeah, that was Nick Gardner who made that, and he's key to this team. He makes a lot of rocks, and that tells me a lot about this team. The double is made right before.
Looking at our second lead stone from Team Boland, looks like we're playing a hack to board weight, just hit and roll behind the corner there off that top yellow. Really sweeping for the line here. And just doesn't roll quite enough. And you'll see Brooke go after this one here. With a 4-point lead here in the third, it's crucial for Brooke to play the game open. So I suspect you'll see her start peeling the guards as soon as she can, and just trying to keep blues to a minimum in the house there. The seconds first from Sarah McNeil-Lambswood here. Camille Burt on the sweep for curl. And just made contact with that blue enough to get it out of the house there, but rolling out at the same time. However, that's not a huge concern for Brooke here. More concerns about just getting that blue rock out. And when I asked these two teams if there was anything they wanted on the stream this morning, of course, the first answer was sponsors, which we've already done, but also a request from Team Godsland. Coaches are so important to the game, and they've had Coach Corey Shue, who also played in this event with his men's team. I hear that allegedly he has an exponentially small water bottle. I haven't seen him here yet today, but I'm sure he's tuning in. However, the girls say he might also be watching football, considering it is football Sunday.
It's football Sunday indeed, Emily.
Oh, Mark, you know for sure.
I don't know if his concern is, Rob.
I'm a big football fan.
But big thanks to Coach Corey Shue for Team Godsland, and of course the lovely Laura Phillips coaching Team Boland here today.
So, Emily, a question for you now, where you're more of a tech person than I am. Can we look at the screen or find out somewhere how many people we have online watching this today?
Yeah, absolutely we can, Mark. Let me work some magic here.
See, folks, you just got to know who to ask.
Certainly on this shot, it's interesting to see if Simon had to rule out, well, then would try it. But right now, they want to be on the other side. They want to be T-line or better because they don't want to give him that role.
We currently have 11 viewers on the stream here.
And we're off and running. And the men have 40 or 49. Okay. I knew there was a way to do it, and I knew you'd be the person to ask, Emily. Well done. Okay, we're back here now, folks. Third end. Team Boland drawing around their corner guard. Trying to lie one and second and third here. Trying to get some pressure on Team Godsland. In terms of being realistic about the outcome of this game, Boland really needs to press for a deuce here. She can't let the game get out of hand early. Definitely can't afford another steal here.
For sure.
And the score 1 puts her 3 down without the hammer playing in the fourth end. Not what
you're looking for.
would be a situation I wouldn't think would be very positive.
No, for sure.
But a 2 here puts you within 2 and force the other team 1, get a deuce back again right after. So after 5, you could only be down 1. So she got to work the math where she gets 2, gives 1, get 2, give 1.
As I like to say, Mark,
back in this game.
the math does math.
Math doesn't lie. Numbers are important.
The maths, folks. So really looking for a deuce here from Team Boland. And really sweeping for curl on this
Gotta
one.
get by the guard. Ooh.
Now,
Nice-
Mark,
Nice shot by Aaron Porter.
that seemed like that rock moved a lot there at the end. I don't think I've seen a rock move like that quite yet during this game, but might be something to look out for.
Flash on a hit or something like that, and that's the choice he made by drawing over there.
Yeah, I think he knew that when he made that draw. He said,
And also a really nice strong sweep for curl from Camille Burt there as well. So a really nice rock.
I think that was a conscious decision, knowing that he probably wouldn't ever.
So Sarah Boland still got some work cut out for her here to force a deuce, but she does have that counter over on the wing out in the 12-foot. And right now I'm thinking if she's going to get 2, that's going to be the second point right there.
The biters are always the ones that that come into play that you don't expect. They're always the ones that come back to bite you,
Absolutely.
hence their name. So having that rock out there could be, could like you said, could be that second point this end, Mark.
An outside chance to get a roll there.
So she's trying to play the double here, and if you make the double here, your shooter will probably roll to the right-hand side, so they have some good separation. You can ride 2 and have some good separation between the rocks.
Gets hit the beginning and the
It's looking pretty nice coming down the sheet. Just got to keep it a hair straight here, though.
She's going to be pretty close to it, I think.
pretty well set up to.
No, it's just over curl a bit, but never roll to a bad spot.
No, absolutely. Staying in front of that yellow is
Well, I
not too bad.
I think if you're Godsland, you hit the open one here. Because there's only, if you go after the middle one, you could end up jamming or something along those lines. You hit the outside one, you can roll right into the 4-foot area here.
So they tell me as Simon throws this rock that he claims to have the best choice of music around the road. Glenn agrees with that, but the rest of the team doesn't. So maybe when we bring Glenn here, it's worth it. We can ask about who gets the remote on the hockey games and whose choice of music.
Big shot here now for Porter. Bang the hit and roll in off the outside Boland stone. They're working on it here now. Sarah Lamb's trying to hold the line.
It's pretty close here, Mark.
And that is a very good shot.
Beauty.
Rolls in 1 and 3, partially covered by that corner guard that belongs to Boland.
Really nice team rock there.
That's a very nice shot. Well, what it does, it narrows down all the scoring area now. Now there's nothing out in the 12-foot. Everything is in the 8-foot and 4-foot. So even if Boland makes a nice rocker and lies 1-2 or whatever, there probably could very well be a double coming right back for Team Godsland here.
So this looks pretty good, Rob.
I like to come around freeze, the corner freeze on that yellow rock there now. Or if you can, depending on how much you can see, you might be able to push it back to the back 8-foot and lie in front of it without giving a double to Team Godsland.
Andrew Simmons 3. We'll be back in a minute for Fourth Dash.
Looks like we are opting for the freeze here. Try and get in behind that corner.
That's what he asked me to do. He's over there behind the.
Well, I mean, the crowds are good here again today. If they're 1 deep, they're 20 deep. Just like they've been all week.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend of curling, and still lots more to come with this this final here.
Big shot here for Team Boland. They really need to make this corner freeze and push this yellow one back a bit.
Hard on the sweep here, Mark.
Hard on the sweep. The line looks like they're going to get by that guard. It's going to be pretty close.
Pretty close here.
Don't want to bounce off. That's a good rock.
That's a really nice rock there.
I don't think you can walk down and lay that there any better.
Absolutely not.
It's an absolute pistol. Godsland has to be careful there. I don't think he can attempt to hit that, and because you don't want to kill your back one.
And
I think Brooke's first instinct where she tapped, if you can freeze in that little pocket of the two blue ones.
That's a pretty good spot to be.
there and watch them, so thanks for dropping it. Hi, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are
Freezing in that pocket as well allows you the opportunity to maybe hit that rock on her second and kick that blue out of the 4 foot, possibly even out of the house there.
Well, they're thinking about it. They do have a couple of options, but when you're a 4 up, you're looking at it from a position of strength and control. So they may just play the hit. And even if they kill their back one, and they be prepared to give up 2,
Definitely
I don't think you need to get over. I don't think you need to overthink this.
exactly. Definitely a situation where you play the scoreboard here.
Last year,
You just don't want to jam it on your own. Anything other than that.
Exactly.
And there's enough space between the two blue. If you get through without hitting the one that was just frozen, you may possibly miss your back one, but your shooter may come over and you may be able to push that blue upward and still lie 1-2.
That is
Maybe.
true.
It's hard to tell exactly what the angle is here from our vantage point, but it looks like that may be a possibility.
they are even better now than they were last year.
Even just flopping behind that blue that was just thrown frozen is pretty good.
Think
So
about it, they can't hit the blue one first. It's going frozen, and this
it's
this is
moving
starting to
big
curl.
here.
It's going to be close. She might have a pistol. That's a good shot. Missed her back one, and she did hit the blue one a bit. So I don't know if they're lying 2 or 3.
Absolutely. And
We don't have the overhead cam available to us.
I was always a field player.
I'll have to talk to tech support about that.
Either way, here, really nice rock there from Brooke Godsland, and keeping that yellow back 4 there was a really nice bonus to that as well.
There's a big shot here now for Sarah Boland. She needs to make this double.
If that makes any sense, they're more like guys, more like the
And it looks right now on our angle that the blue rock is 3rd shot. You agree with that assessment?
I do agree with that, Mark.
So she may be
From
able
here.
to get the slash this double, and when I say slash, hit the top one across the back of the back one and roll her shooter over 2 or 3 feet and lie 1-2, have some separation, and there would not be any double available for Brooke Godsland coming back on her last rock, which would ensure that Sarah Boland would have an opportunity for 2.
This is a key shot here for Sarah Boland. I feel like we've been saying that a lot of these rocks are big shots, but when you get into a final with 2 teams that are this good, all the rocks count, Mark.
I agree, but this is a big shot here for Sarah Boland. She needs to make this double. That's got to curl.
If life doesn't kick in and change their
Ooh,
future,
That's not good.
that's not good. She moved her own blue rock, I think. Yellow's line 1-2 for sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty unfortunate miss
she
there.
just hung that wide on that intern.
Yep.
That's a big thing because a lot of kids these days sort of feel like they got to figure out, especially
So right now, it looks like the force is on with a potential steal in the works again. Because if Godsland puts this full 8 foot on the center line, Boland's going to have to draw the 1 foot.
Yep, that's a
Against
immediate
3.
draw.
Cool. Okay, so great so far done.
And even if you're short, she got to draw the 1 foot. But if you can come in full 8 foot and lie 3, just break the center line on the left-hand side, it's going to be a tough draw for Team Boland.
Absolutely.
the AUS, they're going to play in the Atlantic. Try to qualify for the AUS. Then the men's are coming up, and
It looks like Brooke's looking at throwing something top 12 here, but I don't really see the difference in or the benefit in throwing top 12 compared to top 8.
Well, any top 8, it just makes the draw tougher
Exactly.
for Boland. Right now, the force is on, so as long as you stop somewhere in that line of the shot rock, you got a draw. But the tighter it comes, the tougher the
harder
draw
it
gets,
makes it.
because you don't have to guard that 100%. Your shooter, the one that Brooke is about to throw, can be right on the center line. There's no hole to come through, which means Boland has to go that little bit wider. And when you go a bit wider, the fattest part of the ring is right on the center line. So the farther you go off the center line, the smaller your scoring area is. So when you're trying to draw the pin, every inch farther you come off the center line makes your shot that much tougher.
Exactly.
And they're not sweeping this.
This rock is looking pretty nice here, Mark.
The line is perfect. Just full 8 foot.
I appreciate you.
Might be able to go just a hair.
Okay, so we're going to get back with a lot of.
That was all about line. They were just playing for line. So it looks
Which is
like,
100% the right call there. If you're going to focus on one thing or the
I
other,
don't think this matters here if
the line is
yellow is
just the way.
line 2 or 3. I don't think it's 3, but it could be. But it doesn't matter. Boland has the draw for 1.
Cold draw here to the full 4.
Well,
We'll get a time on this one here,
she
Mark.
needs to make this, or this game is going to be out of reach after 3 ends. Big shot, big game shot here for Sarah Boland. She needs to get in the hack and tell her sweepers she's just going to lay it out there and tell them not to screw it up.
Yeah, with ice this fast, Mark, that's about all you can do. Trust the sweepers and go from there.
You got to give it a chance here. You got to give it to your sweepers to lay it on the center line, or the tee line, sorry.
And she's off.
Big shot. And we get an early time in this to see if she's going to be close. They're
Got
sweeping
sweepers
it.
on it early.
It is 3-3.
That guard is going to come into play.
It's looking pretty tight there, Mark.
She's wide right now. Does she have the weight?
Oh, it's got to be there. Just short.
Looks like a steal of 2. Yellow. And folks, 6-0 for Godsland after 3 ends. She's stolen 3 deuces in a row, and this game is getting out of control early. Team Boland is going to have to climb. It's going to feel like they're going to have to climb Mount Everest to get back in this contest.
That's pretty tough getting down that much this early against a team who's throwing that well, Mark.
Well, you're going to see Team Godsland now throw everything in and just bang away here for the next several ends.
Absolutely. Get a time on that last draw there, 16 seconds. So just a shade light.
They were sweeping it the whole way.
Exactly.
So just a shade light, but she did give it a chance. Better than being heavy,
Absolutely.
but that's unfortunate.
All right, folks. We'll be back in just a few moments for the 4th end. All right, folks, and we're back for the 4th end of the women's final in the Rick Rowsell Classic 2024. Just want to give a quick update on the men's sheet here. We're on 3rd stones in the 4th end. Currently tied. We have tied 3-3, and Harry, I do believe, has hammered this end, so looking to score probably a deuce here. And back to the women's game. Had a nice draw there from lead Camille Burt for Brooke Godsland. Followed up by a really nice corner from Adrian Mercer, lead for Sarah Boland. Godsland scored another deuce, stole 2 in the third. Now up 6-0 after 3. So really looking to get some stuff up out front here for Sarah Boland. But this game is starting to look pretty out of reach for them. And that's what happens when you have teams that are playing at this level. You know, you get an early lead. That's pretty good. You get down early, you're making a lot more work for yourself to try and get those points back. And with only 4 ends left to go, well, 5 including this one, that's a lot of points to gain back here for Sarah Boland. Seeing another corner go up here, really just trying to get as many guards here as possible and try and generate some offense here, try and score some points. Did also have a note here from Team Godsland. Last night they played one of the junior teams, Team Blandford, and it was a really nice game played by both teams last night. The girls just wanted to say a great job to those 4 girls, the junior team, Team Blandford. They had a really nice game there last night, and they're very impressed with the level of play that those girls are playing at. So big congrats to those girls. And again, as I said earlier, to all the junior teams in the Spiel.
It's almost a situation that we had a couple weeks ago where they get the double and phone it up a little bit. Maybe they're
Just looking for another draw here from Team Godsland. Just trying to clutter up the center as much as possible before they start dealing with those guards up front. And again, with the 5 rock rule, Brooke won't be able to peel those until second stone for her team. So that would be Sarah McNeil Lambswood's second rock. And I suspect you'll see her start to get rid of those blues up front come next rock here now. Didn't quite catch the full call here from Sarah Boland, but I think we're looking at either a hack to board weight, hit and roll behind the corner, or just nosing that yellow there to try and move the back yellow, tap that back a hair, just try and sit frozen on that yellow that's highest in the top 4 there. Unfortunately, just rolling off there. Not quite far enough to be behind the guard, and leaves Brooke with the opportunity to hit this blue that's in the house and sit 4 if she sticks around. And we got wide right out of the hand here, called from Brooke Godsland. Camille Burt's really sweeping for curl here. She does get it over. And Team Godsland will sit 4 after that rock. So a lot of work to be done here for Sarah Boland. Welcoming back Mark here now after his between end stroll.
Well, you gotta stretch out the back when you got a bad back. Not much I can do about it.
You're coming back to a little bit of a mess here, Mark.
Well, it's not a mess for Godsland. It's a mess for... Well, Boland, she needs rocks and play, even if the situation doesn't look good right now. It only takes one shot and all of a sudden 2 is back on the table. So
And that's not long ago. And we're still moving around.
Like we've been saying, big shot here.
still in the first half of the end. So lots of opportunities here yet for Team Boland to get some pressure on them. Get some pressure on Team Godsland.
Hey, here's a great shot here now. Andrew Simmons, his first shot there on the board. He ignored that shot block over there and put in an absolute beauty.
Really important to make this one here. Sweeping hard for straight.
It's going. If she gets by her own yellow or the yellow one, I think it's going to roll too far. No, a little redirect. Worked out pretty
That's
good.
not
actually.
too bad.
No.
Looking to run in his own or
At this point, I mean,
My first instinct is to peel that blue guard.
That's what I'm thinking too, Mark.
That's right now. That rock is a danger rock because the blue one is behind it. You can access, and you don't want. And Boland can get around that on the in turn.
Exactly.
So
I like the peel on that that top blue here, Mark.
you don't want to bring 3 into play. If she gets 2, she gets 2. You got 4 ends to go. You're up 4 with the hammer. You should be winning 99.9% of those games from a statistical point of view. So I
The
think you
math
gotta go out-
doesn't lie.
You go out and you peel that blue guard. I think that's the problem shot there now.
You see,
It gets rid of the guard, opens up that freeze that you can probably throw enough weight to blast it out.
exactly. You're seeing Sarah McNeil-Lambswood down the front end indicating for the peel there.
Yeah. Peel is the danger rock. Look at the scoreboard. You're up 6. Nope, they're playing the yellow and the blue. I'm not a fan of this. If that's what they're playing, I'm not sure. That's what the call is. Looks to me like they're going to play yellow into it. Now, if you come too tight to the guard, you hit that yellow. If you don't get the back one, it's a wasted shot. Like you're only going to let them come around again, potentially.
See what the outcome of this one is here now in a few
Trying
moments
to
here,
hold the
Mark.
line. No, it looks like it's going to be pretty close, maybe.
Brown or Simmons could just play the same shot that he just played. So if he gets to the top of it,
I think somebody just said if it knows and you don't get the back one, they're going to give Boland an opportunity to come around.
I wonder who it was, Mark. I wonder
I
who
have
said
no
that, you know?
idea. Now, she should ignore that over there. I like coming around the corner guard again. I guess you can hit and roll behind. You get some separation.
does he really want to leave it back there? That's the question.
yeah, but take a look at this, Rob.
No, I do like the call of hack here, Mark. Instead of throwing something like board or control, just throwing hack gives you a better chance of sticking
The
around.
key to this shot for Boland is they don't have to knock Yellow Rock all the way out. They just got to get it out of the 8-foot.
Exactly.
The key to the shot is to get your shooter behind that corner guard. Now, if they make this perfect, Godsland still can't hit anything. Where if they made the peel, even if Boland makes this, it opens up the one on the right-hand side. So
Rolls out, okay, it's a blank. Keep it in the house. Then he makes it a tough shot potentially.
interesting times here, Emily.
Very interesting indeed.
Big shot for Kelly Sharp, though.
Looking
thing-
for a
the thing
hack
about
waiter
it-
here.
If this doesn't roll in and she notices it, it's going to give Godsland a double attempt on the 2 blues because this one will be a foot higher.
Really looking for some curl
And they're
here.
trying to get it to curl here.
First thing, of course, is to make it go away, as you say, if it rolls.
Unfortunately, just leaving it high there.
That looks like a pretty natural double.
Yep, opportunity for the double here for Brooke Godsland.
And that's what they're going to play. And Porter can throw it.
Together, I'd say happy.
Well, they're playing that double all day.
He did get a little flip inside, so there is a bit of coverage there. And that 2 guards is going to be in Simon Perry's eye. And Simon initially put the
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate there.
now to peel that out.
This double still has to be made, but considering the score here, much more at stake for Sarah Boland here
Even
now.
if she doesn't make the double, but she just rolls over to the other side, the 4-foot is going to be guarded by the Yellow Rock in the 12-foot. So a lot of opportunity here, but they're trying to get this to curl by the looks of it.
Now we've got
I think it's too thin. Well, that's good. Never made the double, but you unlocked the freeze.
getting rid of that. Sticking that back yellow out a little tiny bit was
Need to
was
curl a
good
bit
there.
more. Yep.
genuinely sure.
So Boland's still not out of the woods here, but she has an opportunity now to lie 2 under cover.
You know, Mark, those 2 yellows in the back 12 there are almost helping Sarah Boland here. If Brooke were to try and make a play on that blue, say running that top yellow back, there's a big chance that blue's going to jam somewhere in the back there. So
Possibly.
There's a overweight blank there for
got a nice draw coming in here.
the blank in there.
Really working it.
She needs to get in behind the cover here.
That's pretty light there, Mark, from the looks of it.
I think she's okay by the guard. It's going to be close, Emily.
Might get there.
I think she's going to lie 1-2. Well, maybe not.
Either way, really nice sweep there. Just might have came up just a
If it's not,
couple
if it-
inches late.
I think that might only be 3rd shot. Might even be 4th shot. Yellow might be 2nd and 3rd here. In which case, I think Brooke got to play the in-turn tap on the shot rock. Forget tapping your yellow. When you have loads of room on that outside, on that in-turn side, you can probably see a good portion of the rock that's shot.
Yeah, really just need to make a play on that shot rock if that is the case.
So maybe we'll just mention the main sponsors. They're the main sponsors of Bell and Pepsi and Gander.
Now, I'm not totally against the thinking of this call here either, though, Mark. Getting rid of that top blue is not a bad call.
Yellow's 2nd and 3rd. So even if you don't make the in-turn come around on the shot rock and say you hit the guard, I don't think that split is there to like 1-2 or 1, 2, and 3. So I like playing on the shot rock here.
I agree. I think that's definitely the better option here.
Because even if she hits and rolls in a foot, it's a skinny double. I don't think they're playing the double. I think they're just playing a hit and roll in a foot. And then you're going to force Boland to come around in the in-turn to lie 2 covered.
Really sweeping for curl here.
The men's, we have Andrew Simmons and Simon Perry.
Almost a miss. Got away with it.
Pretty much exactly.
But might have pushed that blue a little closer.
It's been an exciting game, well-curled game, lots of great shots, and I'm really excited about the last 4 ends of this game. I started off here in the 5th end.
Well, I think second shot is at the back.
It does look that way on the screens here, Mark.
Center line, so Rob, we are playing the free
I think she's just playing to come around to lie 2 here.
call. We had an interesting situation.
Again, that guard that they could have peeled like 6 rocks ago is impacting them not playing on the shot rock.
Exactly. Yeah, it was definitely was key to get that blue peeled earlier on in the end, but just didn't opt to do so, and unfortunately, it's causing them problems here.
Interesting. If I remember correctly,
Try and get a time on this one here now as well.
Okay.
last year, it could have been on the game line, very close, but I think
So I think so far we've been 15-3 to tee.
Yes. Speed is pretty quick. But we're not seeing quite the big curve we saw a couple of days ago here.
No, for sure.
Again, that's probably impacted today because there's only 2 games on as opposed to all 6 sheets playing. So it's a little cooler. The air temperature is a little cooler. If you had 6 games going on, that many more people out there playing, and the air temperature, even if it's a ½ degree warmer, affects how the ice plays out.
Sweeper's working this early here.
I wonder if that Simmons is Carter Holman's here, so Carter.
This looks like it's going to be okay, but
Got a 16-5 on this here, Mark.
Yeah, well, no, she's short.
Unfortunately, just short yet again. Just can't find that draw weight today by the looks of it. Now you'll see Brooke Godsland here and Porter taking a closer look at those rocks there, determining what they want their next shot to be.
If Godsland is 2nd and 3rd, I think you got to play on the shot rock.
Yeah, no matter how you choose to play on that shot rock, I really don't think you're hurting yourself, Mark.
next couple of years.
Well, you'd have to throw it awful poorly.
Way through, here we go.
They're doing it to hit the guard, knock the guard in. I mean, you can probably see half of it, I'm thinking.
Puts him out, so that's
Should be pretty close. Even throwing, like you said, back 8 just to tap it back is not horrible.
I'm not sure what the rationale is here not to play on it.
I think I'm going to pop over real quick and take a look and see if we can see any of this blue here.
I'll take a peek.
Sending Mark over to have a peek for us.
So, just on show hitting, some contract that he got, that's $700 million. It's $70 million a year, but it's still taking $2 million up front. They earn $68 million a year.
Still making a decision here.
No,
What's the verdict?
The camera angle is that you can only see a sliver of it.
Okay.
So our vantage point with the way the cameras are lined up, it looks to us like you can see more of it, but you not very, very little. So,
On July 5th, 2034.
so if you're lying second and third here, I think the shot is to draw around your own yellow one.
So,
Or you can come around the blue one, either one, but
how many clients do you have that have $68 million annuity coming to them? That's,
Coming back on just behind that yellow there, Mark, I think is pretty good, even leaving it about half covered.
if you're going to play around your own yellow, which is perfectly fine. And you don't have to make it perfect. If you get around that and you get like just
Half buried.
not even half, a quarter buried, it makes it tough. You got a tough shot to get more than one.
plus the guys that love to go to the games and soon we won't be able to afford tickets.
Soto is going to make $218,000 a day. He got offered $5 million more from the Yankees.
Get a time on this draw here now as well, folks.
And, that offer, sorry, $5 million more from the Mets, and he took that because
Just
he got a free luxury box
Clean in here.
at Mets Stadium. Unbelievable.
Well,
Anyway, Rob, they're,
Now calling for curl.
Looks like a lot of weight.
Yeah, looks pretty heavy here, Mark.
He
Didn't,
looks long here.
that's quite heavy.
Goals to the button.
That shot not really close there. That's almost hack weight.
so it's
Yeah, just really struggling with the draw weight here today, Mark, by the looks of it.
Both teams have been up and down on draw weight a bit.
commoners. We haven't got it.
I got to assume, playing that much weight, that yellow's second and third.
See?
Because if they're not, if they're not second and third and blue are 1 and 3, playing the back yellow, it's a 3 spot. So I'm thinking by playing this, they're
I think they're trying to come down, Rob, with the waves and bump that blue and bump it right into the yellow.
like,
Great shot.
if they're not just playing a straight draw for 2, and they're trying to hit the yellow and roll in, it must be for 3. Why would you play that if it's not for 3? Why wouldn't you just draw for 2? So they must think that the top blue one on the left outcounts the back yellow one.
Getting tricky here now. Last drop, huh?
I think, Mark, considering they're...
Or maybe they think it's close enough that it's worth a measure.
And that's what I was... Took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, well, I never meant to do that, Emily.
It's okay, Mark. Just considering the fact that those rocks might be that close, where they're down 6, might be worth trying for 3 here. Even if it does end up just being 2 if the shot is made. Again, play by the scoreboard. They're down 6. They need as many points as they can get here, Mark.
Both teams have looked at these rocks
Here we go with
quite a bit in the last couple of minutes.
very important rock here.
We've been of the impression, Emily, that yellow is second and third,
Yes,
based on decisions that teams have made.
that's what the strategy is saying here. But this kind of changes that a bit here. My thought is the rocks are just real close, and they're taking the risk of possibly getting 3.
He has eliminated 1 rock. Fury's just going to go up there and play the hit and roll again. If he rolls this in behind.
Definitely a shot that has to be made if they do end up calling it, though.
Even that.
Oh, looks like she's going to take an attempt at it.
I mean, 1 is half covered, so
And if you're going to try to get this for 3, if you hit the yellow one, it's got to go over the top of the back yellows, because if it jams up on those yellows, it's probably going to be second or third shot anyway.
first here. And again,
What kind of weight do you think you're throwing here, Mark? There's
Well,
a
they
pretty
gotta-
slim
if
window.
They're trying to hit a quarter, or less than a quarter of that rock, and move it 5 feet sideways. So you're going to need more than backline, because you're hitting a stationary rock. So you got to think about the energy transfer needed from the stone that's moving to hit a static stone, stationary stone, and move it 5 feet sideways. And you're only going to be hitting less than a quarter of it. So there's not going to be a massive amount of energy transfer from your running stone to your stationary stone, and you still got to get it X number of feet.
Looks
And
like
at the
we
same time, keeping your shooter in the 8-foot.
exactly that would have been my
So
biggest
it's-
concern there. It looks like they might be opting just for the straight draw here now.
Scott, that was, you know, you
Yes.
filmed it to go that hard to make sure.
Not a bad choice. Not a
Take-
bad decision.
take
Take
that.
the 2. Take what you can get.
If it was possible, I think down 60 had to take it, but maybe they said no, it's probably not even there, and let's just take her 2 and go forward.
What do you like here in terms of Bud Simmons and Scott? I mean, you're talking about.
I don't know, Mark. This rock is coming down pretty hot.
Doesn't look light.
14.6 on this one here.
I think they have to.
It's going to be okay potentially. No, maybe.
Maybe
Water's got to go a little bit more. No, want to hang on
Yeah,
for 2
hangs
for
on
sure.
enough for 2.
They're taking a look at it.
You might see a measure here, considering how much these 2 teams have been looking at those rocks.
into the blue zone. You know, might get rid of something, but at this point,
They're going to measure.
Yeah, it looks like we got a measure here, Mark.
forget us.
You know, if you got to look at the rocks more than a couple times, usually worth a measure.
Yep, absolutely.
So we'll let this play out, and we'll be back when they figure out who's got it.
And folks, we're back here online again in action at the 2024 edition of the Rick Rowsell Classic Ladies Final. Sarah Boland versus Brooke Godsland. And after the measurement in the fourth end, Boland has posted a score. It was only a count of 2. So the score will read 6-2 for Godsland after 4, and Godsland would have the hammer.
Back to baseball days. I know it was very emotional when he won that first tank in 2019. Got the brand in that. So he lost the final the year before.
So 4 ends to go, folks, and Godsland in complete control, up 4 with the hammer. So I don't expect they're going to want many rocks in play, and definitely won't want any guards out front. So they're going to play stuff in the rings. And I said the first opportunity that Team Godsland gets, you're going to see a takeout on anything that's in front.
I don't know if he got it up, but you got to be kidding me.
It's a great shot to even touch both of them. And it does, because there is a corner behind, it does make it very hard if that one is still on the ring for him to pass that.
Okay, you're going to see Team Godsland hit this, either roll away or roll on top of their own. Probably roll on top.
Looked to be out, and he was trying for the blank, and he plugged it.
I have my co-host back with me now, Emily Neri, and that measure was only for 2 last end.
For 2, hey?
4-2, so
That's-
Godsland was up 4 with the hammer. Playing a hit and roll here on Camille Burt's second rock.
Well, 2 is better than none, they say, Mark.
Absolutely.
Weight and really try to stick around. They think that's still on for their second home. But if they just want to have a rock,
Really big sweep here.
then they think for the time.
Trying to hold it.
That's fine.
That's actually pretty good there, Mark.
Yeah, it's actually really good, actually.
That's a beauty.
Put them both behind that long center guard. And I've already alluded before you step back and on the mic, Emily. First opportunity Godsland gets, she should be ripping that blue guard.
That's what I expect to see here, Mark.
So that would be the next shot that comes up for Sarah Lamb's first rock. In this end will be the 6th rock of the end, which enables a team to peel out front in the free guard zone.
You know, time and time again, we played fields down in Narrow Rock, we played the Super League right now.
We saw Brooke opt not to call the peel on that top blue guard last end, so I doubt you'll see her make the same mistake now here.
Boland's playing in here. I don't agree with this, especially where the next shot is going to be a peel. I think Boland needed to throw something else out front because they're not going to steal if there's going to be no guards out front, and here goes that guard.
And now, of course, every other guard that they put
no
up.
guards out front. Yellow's line 2. Everything's pretty much in front of the T line. So Boland she's going to be forced to throw a guard.
And every other guard that Boland throws, Brooke is going to peel.
If they exchange shots to the end of the end, they might lie 1 and 3 or something like that, but everything's going to be within a foot or 2. So it should be an open shot for Godsland to at least score 1. And that's another end gone by the wayside if you're Team Boland that you don't have to score any points in. So you had to get a couple rocks out front and hope that Team Godsland doesn't make the double peel.
Yeah, that was a missed call there from Sarah Boland on the strategy there. Really working this one here. Already over curling on them. Just not there.
One thing Ross did say about it is he's very patient.
Now, Mark, back when myself and Sarah McNeil Lambswood, Mackenzie Mitchell, and Kay Patterson were playing juniors, I remember you telling us that it's so crucial to stay focused right until the end. There's no quit. And unfortunately, I think we're seeing a bit of loss of focus here from Sarah Boland, just being down this much, struggling to make the rocks there.
When you're up a lot or down a lot, and you have no control over the game, where you're up a lot with complete control, it's pretty easy sometimes to lack a bit of focus.
Absolutely.
And when you lack focus, you tend to miss.
Exactly.
So you're going to see Godsland just try to rip a couple of these out. They don't need to score points. I'd try to rip the blue, the yellow, and your shooter, and
Absolutely.
leave just the one rock in play. Well, as long as you can't jam it on anything. So as long as you don't miss it, that blue rock should be going. So just keep your focus, normal hit weight, and get rid of it.
Looks like a pretty nice throw from Sarah McNeil-Lambswood on the straight.
Camille on the brusher now.
Looking good. A really nice throw there from Sarah. Just gets rid of that blue and even sticks around here just on the wing and the 12-foot.
Really are all in Team Godsland's favor. So she has to go throw a guard.
Yeah, no, I guess that's what it is.
She comes in. The other team is just going to smash. If you're going to come in, just try to tap the top one back a bit, make a bit of a ball. But I would be throwing a guard. I think if you're trying to steal without something up front to get behind, is generally not the successful way to go about it. It makes it extremely tough, and what you're hoping for is the other team to miss something simple,
Exactly.
which is not a recipe for success at high levels of curling in Canada. There's just too many good players who know what they're doing, and they're not going to miss those simple shots when they have complete control of the game.
Now it looks like here, Mark, Sarah is opting to make a play on that top yellow,
Well,
but that ice looks like she's throwing a decent amount of weight here.
Yeah, like I said, I don't understand. It's too late to bail here now. They're in the fifth end. They're down 4 without the hammer. So you got to go all in to steal, and that means guards, freezes, tap, whatever, but not takeouts.
This looks to
Like,
be
this is
about
not-
control.
This is not going to get her anything. Okay, she got rid of one. Brooke's going to go up. She can slash that right through the hole, and Boland still got nothing to work with.
So welcome back.
And many of you at home might be wondering why a team might throw a guard when you know the other team is just going to peel it straight off the bat. And again, Mark, like you said, just looking for that miss. Sometimes it comes down to the point where that's really what you need in order to score some points. And at this level, it's unfortunate to be hoping for misses from the other team, because that's not very often you'll see that, especially on a straight peel.
Well, when you're down 4 without the hammer playing the fifth end, you're going to have to try to get a couple of half misses at the very least out of your opposition if you want to get back into it. But to do that, you try to put rocks in a situation where they may have some danger involved. Like again,
It's been a great weekend down here, Rob.
the 2 rocks that are in the rings now, they're in front of the tee line or on the tee line. There's nothing there for Boland. Even if she locks this on perfectly, it can still be blasted out. And worst case, if she locks it on, she's not shot. Sure, Brooke could guard it.
And I'd
And
say that's what
Boland is
you'll see her do.
No farther ahead.
This event, the first 5 games, and really the 3 guys I think who have to take some credit was Steve Trickett and Mike Mosher, who have worked extremely hard to bring
It's just an unfortunate situation here, but we'll see if they can get something going here anyway.
Well, I think because of the way this end is playing out,
So all these guys,
I think right now there's a better than 50% chance that Godsland puts a deuce on the board.
Especially with the hammer here in 5.
And if that happens, you might see handshakes. You're up 6 with 3 ends to go. The game is over, or as we like to say, the jig is up.
Unfortunately, just a little bit light there on the freeze, and just
Again,
didn't quite get the angle there.
Ideally here now, peel it out, but if you could ever get your back one at the same time.
That's even better.
And then you're going to probably roll over a hair to the 8-foot, better again. Or even just a straight peel. It's fine.
Screaming gets better and better each year.
sure, Rob, and just to kind of catch up to speed here on Letha.
While we're waiting for this rock to come down the sheet here from Aaron Porter, I'd like to do a quick shout out for the sponsors for the whole spiel this weekend. We have Bel Air Direct, Pepsi, Browning Harvey Limited, and Gander Bread Box and Cafe. Big thanks to those sponsors there for supporting the
There you go.
spiel and making it possible to have all these teams play here. And shot made there by Team Godsland.
very pivotal end in an 8-end tournament game. This one is a really important end. Not that
Well,
one's happened.
the end is not set up for a steal unless there's not a bad miss by Team Godsland. Because right now they're playing the hit and roll. You just played a freeze. Why wouldn't you play the freeze again? But they're going to hit, trying to make a perfect roll on a rock that's just behind the tee line. But you got to make it absolutely perfect to have any chance of it being jammed. And even if you make it perfect, it can still be blasted out.
Yeah, this is a tough shot here, Mark.
Tough shot. I don't like the odds of Team Boland stealing one here. I think right now they're pretty low. But again, that's how they decided to go about skipping this in, and that's up to them. And I'm sure they would have talked about this with their coach and whatnot, and that's how they would want to play when they're down. And I don't see you having a lot of success skipping that way, but you're hoping for the other team to miss easy shots, which is generally not going to happen when you're playing teams in the final. Both teams would have had to play well to get here. So
Can't see if that yellow is hanging on, but it looks like it is.
well, again, here, as long as you don't jam it, and as long as you hit it out.
Think so.
If you peel it, the blank is on, because all Boland would have would be to freeze on that back one. And even if it's a really good freeze, it's possible to blast it out, or Godsland might just draw pretty much full
Take
12
the one,
for one,
yep.
and go up 5. Either way, the situation is not inducive to a steal.
No, especially with the house this empty here, Mark.
Great here for Steve to get to that first flyer and
Unfortunately, tapping that yellow back was
very instrumental in the
it's almost worse for Sarah Boland.
Well, the thing about it, if she hits it on the nose, she's a foot in front of the tee line. So it's not even a rocky you can really freeze on. If you freeze on it and become shot, you're not frozen to it. You're only frozen on a quarter of it.
Exactly.
So that's what would happen.
Sure, you'll never, I don't think you'll ever
And
Shot made.
so it's going to be a tough freeze. And, I don't think you can draw around it and be buried and be shot.
businesses felt it. And
But now if she goes after it, if she ever jams it, 2 is back in play. So
friends that I went to, another
I don't think this end went the way Team Boland wanted, but I think part of it was
people traveled in.
how they tried to organize the end. The end never started the right way for them. They put up the guard, but then Camille Burt's first rock was on top of the pin. Perfect spot. And they never really got control of that control zone, which if you don't have control of that area, you're probably not going to steal. And they never got it. And then her second rock, she hit the open one and rolled on top and had 2 behind the guard. So right away, it wasn't set up after. There was only 4 rocks thrown, and everything favored Team Godsland right out of the bat, right out from the start of the end. And so that's the beauty, as we've already mentioned, about having a lead performing at a high level. It sets the tone for how the end is going to play out.
Exactly. And if you got an opposition that's throwing this well, you can't miss very many.
No.
You have to play at least to par with them to have a chance.
So I'm looking for, they're just playing the hit here.
I'd assume it's pretty straight out here, considering we're looking at middle of the rock for ice. Looks like a control weight here, maybe normal. Just control here coming down the sheet by the looks of it. And
Touch that first one.
On off here.
pretty close. And just roll into the center there.
Okay, so it's just going to be a blank or a 1 for Godsland. Either way, that doesn't help Team Boland. So we're going to see how Boland plays or tries to organize the end next end. Now, if I was skipping, I'd like to take the blank.
Absolutely.
To keep the hammer in the 6th,
Generate is 2.
and you're up 4. But if you take one, you're up 5. There's only 3 ends to go. So in 3 ends, Boland would have to outscore Godsland by 6 points.
And that's a lot.
Pretty tall order. It's like trying to walk up Mount Everest backwards. It's not going to happen very often.
No, you're right, Mark.
And we got the blank here.
And that is the best outcome for Team Godsland here. So we'll see them carry the hammer into 6.
I don't think they got very little pressure put on Team Godsland that end by Team Boland. So and the result is a blank end. So right now, blank end would not be what Team Boland is looking for.
All right, folks, we'll take a short break and we'll be back with you for the 6th shortly here. All right, folks, and we're back at the 2024 Rick Rowsell Classic for the women's final here. We have Team Godsland versus Team Boland. A score of 6-2 after 5 for Team Godsland. And they blanked the 5th, so they carry the hammer into 6th. See them just drawing around this center guard put up by Team Boland. I have an update for the stream on the men's final. We have those guys on sheet 3 today. Currently 4-3 for Perry. They're playing the 6th end and they're on 3rd stones. So we should have another score update from them shortly after 6. And Sarah Boland really needs to generate some points here this end. Really looking for a steal here. Unfortunately, even if she does give up, or even if she does force the 1 for Godsland, that still leaves her down 5 going into 7. So that's not an ideal situation, but looking for the freeze here. Just staying a hair wide, but still a shot that has to be made by Team Godsland here.
Well, there's a couple of rocks in play, but Godsland got their hammer. Boland's going to still need another rock out front. Because, again, the first opportunity that the 6th rock at the end, that guard is going to be peeled. Regardless of what, or should be, regardless of what the situation is in the rings.
Yeah, called straight wide on this one here.
Looks like a long way out. Going to have to curl a bit, even just to make contact. I think she just got a little wide there.
Yeah, I agree there, Mark.
Weight wasn't bad.
It was pretty close, probably back 4 there.
Now, see, if I was Boland, I would put a guard on that, a couple of feet over the hog line. And then that makes the double peel that much difficult. Try to get as much separation between the guards as you can. If you come in, the next rock is going to be the 6th rock at the end, which will be Sarah McNeil Lambs will be throwing. And those guards are going to be...
That guard's gone.
That guard is gone. Now
We
everything's
are
in the
looking.
rings.
We are looking at a bit of a debate here. Looks like we're throwing the guard here, Mark.
Well, I think that's what she needs to do.
100%.
She came in last end and she had nothing going whatsoever.
And of course, Sarah Boland is looking for a steal here, so the double centers here will be really beneficial to her in trying to generate some points.
The slam ice, that yellow is gone. That's into the side.
Sweeper's calling heavy here, so opting to draw in around by the looks of it. Line's looking really nice for this.
No, it wasn't a guard. They were coming in. Here goes the guard.
I did see an indication from Sarah Boland for the guard up front. I believe it was just heavy and Sweeper's called in the house.
If that was a guard out front,
That's
that's 15 feet heavy.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's a terrible shot in the sixth end of a curling game. To miss by that much when you're down, I mean, that's a lack of focus, is what that is.
Yeah, and that's just what we talked about earlier too, Mark.
I know it happens to everybody, but it's still a lack of focus. And all the players in this game are experienced curlers, and they know better than that. So it's not anything new to them. But here goes the guard, and now Boland's got to put some kind of guard back, and it's at some point in time, they got to come into the top of the fourth to move the yellow one, which means when they play that potential shot down the road, there won't be a guard out front. And now Team Godsland is playing a double in the rings.
Yeah.
Where rocks are only inches or a foot apart.
Exactly.
So not going to be a recipe for success if you're down 4.
And again, going back to those lead stones, just having them made gives you such a better chance at generating offense or just the end playing out the way you want it to. So unfortunate that rock came into the house there. We'll see another guard attempt here from second Beth Hamilton from Team Boland. Really sweeping hard on this one. Weight looks pretty good here. Much better guard there from Team Boland.
Just peel it and peel it to the left-hand side. Now.
We'll see another pistol here from Sarah McNeil Lambswood, just getting rid of that top guard there again.
I don't know what the discussion is. It's a straight peel. I don't like playing it to peel it in, because if you ever jammed it right on that yellow one on the 8-foot,
I fully agree here,
I'd
Mark.
say just peel it straight. They're not peeling it.
Okay.
Don't like this at all. The danger rock right now to Godsland is that guard. Because this has potential to be hit on the high side, blue on the yellow, but it comes over on your other yellow.
Yeah, this could be pretty bad here, Mark.
Now, you can make it and just roll in a little tiny bit, pass it through the hole, but I'd still want to get rid of the guard. You don't need to score points. You're up 4.
Calling straight wide here, too.
And you're going to high side it. Now, I don't understand the rationale behind that call when you're up 4 points. Now, Hill has a chance to lie 2, potentially have 1 guarded with 2 rocks in front of it, the 12-foot and a guard on that, which is, so with the guard, the high guard on the one of the 12-foot, effectively, if you get around it, you have 2 guards.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
I
now
think
you're
you're
force Godsland to make a double run back.
you're always
Not
drawing
even
around the
peel.
centers here for
So I don't
Sarah Boland.
understand the train of thought to play that last rock. I think there, when I coached juniors, as you will remember, Emily, we talked about that 5-letter word that gets people in trouble all the time. GREED. Greed. You're up 4 and you want to score more points. You don't need more points. The game should be over.
exactly.
Just limit the other guy to 1 or take 1 or a blank and you're good to go. And now they're going to put themselves in a more dangerous situation and possibly put Boland in a, not saying she will, but in a potential steal opportunity. But now, again, they still got to make some good shots here, and this is well wide of getting around that guard.
Yeah, this
And
is
it
well
looks,
wide and pretty
also
heavy
looks
here.
a bit heavy. So not a good shot by Kelly Sharp.
Just slips to the back 12 there, which is really unfortunate. Boland had that opportunity to get behind those two centers buried, and unfortunately just dropped the ball on that one.
I still like peeling the guard, even right now.
I agree here, Mark. Looks like we're opting for the hit, though.
Because you peel the guard, Boland's going to play the same shot. Then you can play the open one if you want. There's still no guards out front. But unless you're going to hit and roll to the top of the button behind those two guards, that's where Boland's going to go next time again. And if you hit and stay, she's going to play the hit and roll in behind her. So you're no further ahead. Again, indicated that was a little wide maybe. They're trying to curl it.
He's trying to hit. It's touching the center.
No, she must be pretty close.
So there's not much room here to get by this top guard with enough weight to promote your yellow and the blue.
Okay, I think you roll just enough to stop any kind of inside roll for Boland. I think Boland here, you might have to play on that to tap it back to the back 4 foot.
That was my first thought there, Mark.
What you need to do now, that out-turn draw is really tough. So if you want to try to create some space for yourself to get into the 4 foot, you're going to have to move that rock back. You only got to move it back. You can still be shot rock, but it got to be behind the tee line. So it opens up space for you to get in front of it and be shot. And you don't have to be, you only got to be shot when she's finished after Boland throws her last rock. So it's all about trying to set something up.
Now we're seeing Sarah Boland indicate the roll towards center, but also the roll into the pocket with the two yellows there.
Well, I think
what are your thoughts on that there, Mark?
Forget rolling through the wing is not going to, potentially, shouldn't give you a steal. Because full 8 foot then for Godsland to draw to, or have an open takeout. If she needs a steal, I think you play to tap it back 2 or 3 feet. But again, they're playing a hit, and they're down 4. When you're down 4 points, hits are not your friend, generally speaking. You need to apply pressure to Team Godsland. So how do you do that? You don't do it by playing takeouts.
Absolutely perfect. He saw it, he made it.
Because if she rolls to the outside, she could jam it on the back or kill her own back. Well, not that that's going to come into play anyway.
Looks like that's what we're getting here, Mark. The roll to the outside here. And also leaving space for Brooke to maybe just blast that as well.
I think yellow is still a shot.
There's a bit of a stagger there on those two yellows.
And we're calling for the draw around the two centers there, which is a good call here by Brooke Godsland.
Well, it's late in the end now, so I think it's too late to peel the guard now because
Agreed.
then Boland can hit the live 4. And now, you should never be shooting against 4 when you're up 4.
Exactly.
So regardless, if she plays a draw around now, I think the opportune side, I think you play it on the out turn. If you play it on the in turn and you come into the 4 foot, you might give Boland an opportunity to play a double to live 4. If you're Godsland, you don't want to be shooting at 4. Anything goes wrong and you're giving up a steal of multiple points.
A steal that would tie the game here, Mark.
So
We're talking about a 3 here.
I don't mind the draw here, full 8 foot, but I'd be coming around on the out turn.
They're just dusting it.
I'm still opting to play the in turn here.
I mean, the out turn, you don't have to be buried. As long as you're edge on edge with that blue rock in the 12 foot, it's fine. Full 8 foot, edge on edge. Boland's going to draw in, then you still got the slash available.
We'll see if they can get this one buried.
Well, if you're not going to be buried, I think you don't want to come deep to give that double tap to Boland. I think leave it high, like just high in the 8 foot as you can. Well,
Really need this one to curl here.
Because there's loads of room getting by. And she's coming in. If that was over a foot, it would be okay. But
So it must be more behind cover than I think. I just wait for Andrew to go.
I think if you play that with hack weight and you hit a fat half of that yellow rock coming across the top, you're going to roll 1.5 foot behind that blue rock in 12 foot, and you might be close
To getting that back yellow
to getting
there,
that
yeah.
back yellow out.
It's
And-
pretty
and you-
close
and
there,
you
Mark.
Just to move them off the lie 1, 2, or whatever. And if you move them out of the 8 foot, you could lie 3. And then you got, but you would also have 2 rocks behind that guard, which they never peeled on Aaron Porter's first rock, or Sarah Lambswood's second rock.
Yeah, so this
And
is
now,
a, this
what
is a
rock
big opportunity.
Causing trouble is that guard.
This is a big opportunity here for Sarah Boland.
It is. I mean, when you're down, you got to make these types of shots.
See if she
doesn't
can make this
it,
one happen.
Godsland's just going to hit, and at most she'll be only looking at 1 or 2, possibly only 1 on her last rock. So it's
That seems to be the shot there, Andrew. But
Looks like we're throwing board to control here, Mark.
I like even hack. It's not about power hit. You're trying to get your rock behind.
Going really hard on the sweep here. It's looking close.
It's going to roll out. No, maybe not.
Did nick that yellow though, Mark, and
Line
currently
3.
sitting 3.
So now. So Brooke might be looking at 3 when she gets in the hack on her last one.
That was a pretty nice rock there from Sarah Boland. Over curled on them just a hair, but
I think
did
you-
stick
I
around
think-
for 3.
I think you play a hit and roll, just lie 1. And I don't think you want to roll into the 4 foot. I think you just roll a foot to make sure your shot rock. She'll play a hit. Now she might try to play a roll. If she rolls, you hit the open one, get both 1. Or you may draw, but
That's the thing here too, Mark, right? Again, going back to playing the scoreboard, Brooke can afford to give up a steal of 1 here. So it's really just a matter of making that decision of how she wants to go about it.
well, I think a couple of missed calls here, or calls, I think, and when you reflect on it, and hindsight is 20/20, but I think they not playing an appeal on Lambswood's last rock has put them in this situation where they're facing 3 here now. And again, even if Porter's last rock was on the outturn side, what happened? This situation wouldn't be here. Because she
Exactly.
wouldn't have access to that yellow rock. That would have been second shot. So I assume she's playing the hit here, is she?
I don't know, Mark. We might be looking at the draw here.
I don't know why. I mean, you don't need points.
Simon Perry 4, we're in the final.
Right
can't
now,
see
she should be
exactly-
thinking about what's the easiest shot I can force. What shot can I force Sarah Hill to play that gives me the easiest shot available to score 1?
So we'll see
I
now
play-
when she
I
comes
play
out
the
of the
hit
hack there.
Just roll in for a couple inches to make sure I'm shot. Sarah Boland's going to have down 4. She's going to have to hit it to lie 3. And then you'd probably
like
hit the
the
open.
draw
If you
here,
roll
Mark.
behind cover, you'd hit the open one, give up 1.
They opted to play the draw here.
Yep.
It's looking
I mean, you can make
pretty-
it and you
pretty
come out.
close.
It works out for you, but
really looking for the finish here. It's not a bad rock there from Brooke Godsland, but still accessible to Sarah Boland here.
well,
It's tough,
I
but
think a steal of 1 here is not enough. You're down 3 without the hammer playing the 7th end. So I think if you're Boland, if you're asking my opinion on this, I think she needs to come around, tap it out of the 8 foot, and lie 3 or 4.
I agree with that,
and
Mark,
See if you can get a miss out of Brooke Godsland.
for sure.
If you do, you're probably going to steal multiple points to put yourself back in the game.
Exactly.
If Godsland makes it, well, it could be handshakes if he scores 1. You have a 5-point lead with 2 ends to go. But again, I'd want to tap. Steal of 1 is not enough.
Not in
You're
this
down 3 with 2 ends to
situation.
go and you don't have the hammer. So you got to basically steal 3 points, or 4 points, because you want to win the game. So if you hope to steal one here, you got to steal 4 more points to win, because you're not going to get the hammer back. If you do, the game's over, because that means Godsland would have scored at least one.
Welcome back, viewers.
So I think they're playing to tap it back here now.
I agree here,
And
Mark.
even if you roll in the open, as long as you're lying 4, Godsland got to shoot at 4.
Let's take 2 minutes to recognize our. Well,
If looks to this ice here, it looks like she might be throwing back line to hack weight here. Saw her indicate she'd like to get to nose here, which would be ideal. But again, like Marky said, if she rolls way out into the open, that's not horrible either. Brooke is still be drawn against 3, maybe 4.
Professionally, he spent his time as a tournament.
So really need to make this rock here now for a good chance at the steal.
She managed to tap this back and stay in the edge of the 4 foot. Godsland's going to have to make a decision about what she wants to do. She can draw a cold, she can draw a down to it, or she can play a hit. So, you're in the hack. You could have multiple shots in your mind. But she got to make this first.
Getting about board weight here, Mark. Early on the
They're
sweep.
sweeping at it. Line must be tight. Now it's off again there now, so it must be pretty close.
I think it's got a curl here, Mark.
And she's by.
We got about hack weight
Trying to
here.
get a chunk of it.
see the 2 of those guys.
Needs to push it far enough.
It just makes this.
I think they're
I
lying.
think she did for 3.
Lying 3 for sure. I guess it's possible they're lying 4.
It
But now,
did get pure hack weight on that one as well.
if they're lying 3,
This field going.
I would not be playing the draw again. Even though she just made it,
Get started.
if you miss the draw or don't make it or something happens, it's a 1-point game. If you hit the open one, even if you roll out,
Remember Rick
assuming that this back yellow was right now is 4th shot, if you hit the open one and roll out, it's only 2. You're still up 2 with 2 ends to go with the hammer.
Exactly.
So I'd rather be, if you're completely confident in your draw weight after just putting in there, fine.
Rick lost the 2019.
I got pretty close here on this
It looks
one,
pretty
Mark,
close,
but
it still got some legs.
He did go to the Briar.
this might
We
be
got some legs.
slipping a bit too far here.
I know Andrew has helped
And it did.
twice.
This looks like at least 2 here for Team
I
Boland.
think it might be a steal at 3.
It might be, Mark.
Love to get his hands on that trophy once again.
That's for sure, but he's got a young forward.
Now,
Simon Perry.
That's a big end there for Sarah Boland. Big steal.
Like to get a hold of it.
and this went south when they never peeled that guard, and nothing's gone their way since.
You live and you learn, folks.
Steal at 3 in the 6th when you're up 4 with the hammer. Hang your head in shame. But anyway, they're still in control of the game. Up 1 with the hammer playing 7.
All right, folks, we'll take a short break and update the scores for you guys, and we'll be back in just a minute for the 7th end here. Thank you for all tuning in, and we'll talk shortly. All right, folks, we're back at the 2024 Rick Rowsell Classic for the women's final, Team Godsland versus Team Boland. And we just saw a really, really nice last end from Team Boland. Unfortunately, a couple of missed calls from Godsland. And just waiting to see the official score posted out on the ice for you guys. It was, in fact, a steal of 3 for Boland that end. Unfortunately, Brooke on her last rock just coming a little bit heavy. So they're right back in the game. Godsland is up 1 with hammer in the 7th end. And we'll get this end rolling here now. An update on the men's sheet, and of course you guys can see the stream for that game as well. Currently 6-5 for Simmons in 7. And they're finishing up with the third stones over there now. Team Perry has hammer. And it's looking pretty blank over there from what I can see. Just a single yellow in the house. Simon Perry currently looking to get rid of that rock. So we might be looking at a blank for them, which would be great for them. Looking for 2 in the final end, that is. But back to the women's game here. Got a interesting setup here. We have some staggered centers, which is not what you usually see. Looks like we just had an unfortunate miss on a draw there from Team Godsland to make those overlap centers there. But Sarah Boland currently sitting 2 in the house. See a appeal attempt here from Sarah McNeil Lambswood. And making the peel and rolling to a corner, which is great.
That's a beauty shot.
It's really nice
opens
there.
Up the whole middle. But this is a different game now than it was just 1 end ago.
100%.
Boland now has scored 5 unanswered points in the last 2 ends to put herself back in this game.
We're just getting into the excitement here, folks. This is going to be a good last couple ends here.
Well, Boland's going to keep trying to guard this rock in the 1 foot. And, she'll be happy with a steal of 1. Knowing she was down 6 to be tied coming home would be they're climbing up Mount Everest backwards, but they might get to the top yet.
That in itself would be an accomplishment there, Mark.
Well, they're over halfway up the mountain now because of 6-5.
There you go. Really drew back in that focus in the 6th end. And
even if they don't have the line, they did just let this rock stop. You want it out front. You don't want it in the rings because this makes the double actually where it is now.
It's not the best spot there, Mark.
No, just in the 7th end, you can't be tight on a guard when you're trying to steal a point. It's just a lack of focus. All the girls in the sheet now, with the time clocks and the feel, because these girls play a lot, they should have a good feel for it, and that's a mistake by Team Boland here to come in. Godsland's team are going to try to double these out and roll away. You only reckon the rings now is in the back of the 8 foot. Boland still needs a guard out front. So at the end of the end, if you keep trying to organize it that way, Godsland will either be left with a hit against 2, but it'll be wide open to score 1, or just draw the 8 foot for 1. Either way.
Exactly.
So as assuming she can make the double here. And I think she's going to jam it.
Yeah, just jams that one there,
But that rolls over.
Does get under the corner.
Shot, so that's not a terrible result.
Gonna have a quick peek and see if that's fully buried.
On the center line to make the roll that much harder. Okay, now he's decided. Okay, I'm going to roll it out to the corner. You want to beat the roll.
Oh, Team Boland just playing a guard here.
Yeah, took a quick peek at that yellow, and you can see probably a quarter to a thin third, but definitely the guard is the right call here. And the good thing about this one is you're getting a bit of cover for both those blue rocks in the rings. Really working this one, but looking good.
you may lose the championship. So you absolutely have to go with rock. Take the time to set,
Really nice rock there.
put a good throw on this.
Do what you've done so many times. Here we go. See if they're
See Camille indicating a peel here, but not sure if Brooke saw that.
now they're just going to there you go. Perfect shot.
And seems like the overall consensus is the peel.
I would peel it this way, but I think they're peeling it that way. I don't.
Right now, it is 5-4 for
I forget the rock and the rings. Get rid of the guard. This is what happened to him last end. They left the guard out. Peel the guard. He got control of the game.
And the girls are more adamant about peeling from the front end here now as well. So they're definitely aware that not peeling has not worked out for them in this game. So they're making it clear that the peel is the call here.
They peel. Boland puts it back. You peel again. Boland puts it back. You peel. And last rock to score, and you got to draw full 4-foot. That should be able to come pretty close to that in the seventh end.
Exactly.
And, you know, Brooke got good sweepers out there with Camille and Sarah. And, you know, that's how you got to play this end. They got one, they guard, you peel, that goes on to the last rock. She got a guard or tap it up. If she taps it up, it's a short double. She guards, you got to draw 4-foot.
Yep.
Okay. That's not a problem.
No, that's
how you would, in your mind, rationalize your train of thought for the strategy going forward in this end.
yeah. Those are one of Brooke should be expecting to throw one of those two in this
I would
end.
expect now, if I was skipping Team Godsland, that I would have to draw for one.
Yep.
And I would have expected that 3 rocks ago, which would have been fine. You should be confident enough that you can make the draw.
Exactly.
And it's the 7th end. You should have draw it anyway. And you got good sweepers. Now this is too deep. You can get all blues here.
Yeah, that triple is lined up there.
Yeah. The main thing is to get the 2 off out front, the 4-foot and the one they just threw. But you could get lucky and kill the back one at the same time. Now she hasn't even looked at that angles to do that. I would have at least looked at the angle, so you know if you hit it in the right spot, you can get it. But the main thing is to get those 2 off.
Saw an indication for the hit and roll off the top one there. So I
Should be close here. They're
hope
sweeping
they're trying to
on it
get
here
the 2.
Or if you're going to jam it? No? It's good
Guess
rock.
the top 2. That's what she was looking for. So that's pretty good.
So there's big changes over there too. So keep your eye on
Now, even if they draw around this perfectly, they're only line 1,
this one.
and it's not a long raise now, and you're raising your own rock onto the opposition stone. So you could end up line 2, depending. It all depends on where Hill's going to put her rock. But I think it's too late to put a guard out there now. I think on her first rock she comes in.
Do you like coming around that yellow on center? Or do you like the freeze or a little tap back on that yellow behind the corner there, Mark?
I
What are your thoughts?
like coming around the middle.
Try and keep the play around the center,
I
hey?
think you want to steal. The closer you are to the pin, the better chance you got.
That is very
You go
true.
around the corner to try. A corner freeze around a corner guard is an awfully tough shot. You're dealing with line and weight, and you're still going to leave the full 4 and then some for Book to draw for 1. At least if you're in the middle and she has a draw for 1, she has a tighter scoring area. So realistically, your odds would be less. Or well, if you're Sarah Boland, your odds would be greater that you got an opportunity to steal than if you're out in the 8-foot.
No, Mark, it's quite funny as someone who plays doubles full time now. The draw behind the corner is something that you do see in doubles, especially with the power play.
Yeah.
And it's speaking from experience, it's a tough shot to make. So the easier you can make rocks for yourself, the better. And the big thing is just trying to force the other team to make the tougher shots. That's a big key to the game, and I learned that and really internalized that recently.
Yep.
And it's when you start thinking like that, a lot of things change.
Absolutely.
So I do like this this draw around the center from Sarah. This is a nice call here. Really looking for that draw weight, and I'll try and get a time on this one for us as well. It's been a while since we've had a pure draw here. Not sweeping out of her hand, but now going for line here. Really trying to hold it.
Line looks pretty close to me. I think they need to bend it a little tiny bit.
I got a 15 on this, Mark. I really like it. It's just got to curl a bit more here.
That's a very good shot.
That's really nice there from Sarah Boland. Nice rock. Really good sweep. Nice throw. All around good team shot there. And forcing Brooke Godsland to make a play here on something.
I saw a video of Jeweler and Simmons driving in a golf cart under the stands and going out onto that hole. It's pretty cool.
Well, that's a great spirit. I don't know what fun for. So, yep, they made the hit. Yeah, they made
Well, we have the girls looking at this here. I'd like to just thank everyone for doing such a great job on the weekend. We had a lot of really dedicated volunteers, both on the ice, off the ice, all of our players, and all the supporters of the event. This is a really, really special event to a lot of people at the club, and is in memory of a wonderful member of the curling community. So big thanks to everyone who made this possible, and to the teams who came from out of province, who had to travel. We had Team Feltham on the men's side and from Gander, as well as Team Grattan from New Brunswick. Really, really good field here this weekend, and really good turnout with the crowds as well. So big thanks to everyone involved. It's been a really, really nice weekend. And of course, it's not over yet, with Brooke Godsland throwing her rock here now in 7.
This is accessible. If she can hit and hang on, I guess with that ice is a control weight or a board weight shot.
That'd be my guess.
If she can hang on in the 8 foot, it would be good. But even if she just picks it clean and rolls out, Boland's she's coming back to regardless of where the shooter goes. She's coming back on that draw.
Early on the sweep there, but now calling him off. Going hard for curl here.
Want to get it out.
And rolling out. That's pretty good. Forcing Sarah Boland to make this draw again.
Come back with the same shot. Yeah, I think there was an opportunity on Sarah Boland's first rock that they could have curved it a bit earlier.
I fully agree.
They got guard by at least 6 inches. And the ice is not curling like it was a couple of days ago. It's a lot straighter. So you got to be that much tighter to the guard to get the full result of trying to get around. Because you're only coming around a rock in the 12 foot. So you're only coming about 5 feet past it to get to the tee line. So you don't have a lot of room once you get by for the rock to curl.
Yeah, we're not getting big finish on the ice here today, so it's just that much more important to be really precise on the line calls and try and get as close to those guards as possible to get as buried as they possibly
a couple of days
can.
ago, we were taking ice in the 12 foot to draw to the center line. Now it's on the edge of the 8 foot.
Exactly. So still early on the sweep here again, with line still looking wide here.
A lot of line. They should have Beth on the carve part here.
Really needs to finish here.
Again, it's about the same line as the last one. Pretty much the same shot for Brooke. Again, make sure you get it out and you score 1. Now, it is a little higher. I don't know if she goes by. If she goes completely underneath the yellow, great. But if she's rolling out and she touches that yellow, she only got to touch it a couple of inches, and the back one potentially could be shot rock. So again, I'd play with down weight, and if you get by and stay in the 8 foot, you're scoring 2. Up 3 with 1 in the go. Normally that would be good enough, but
as we've seen today,
the way this game has gone, you can never say.
No. That's curling for you, folks. We'll see this last stone come down from Brooke Godsland here.
We got a couple ends you can be characterized as curling like a box of chocolates. You reach in, you're never sure what you're going to get.
Don't think I've heard that analogy before, Mark, but it works. It works.
This looks pretty close.
I think might be sticking around on this one even, Mark.
She might stay around.
Sticks around for 2.
That's a beauty shot. Brooke Godsland comes through with a pistol in 7 for a deuce. 8-5 after 7 ends. For Team Godsland, hammer in the last end will belong to Sarah Boland. Folks, we've had a beauty here today. Lots of excitement. ups and downs, some great shots made, and some misses probably not completely characteristic of the level of the talent on the ice, but that's what happens in curling. If it was easy, they'd call it hockey.
That's a classic there, Mark. All right, we'll take a short break and be back for the final end of the women's final. All right, folks, back for the 8th end of the women's final at the 2024 Rick Rowsell Classic. Starting off with a rock from Camille Burt, Team Godsland. Just drawing top 4 here. I suspect you'll see Brooke try and keep this end relatively open. She's okay with giving up 1. Giving up 2 also won't lose her the game, so just trying to keep it open here for the most part. Whereas for Team Sarah Boland, you'll be certainly seeing the opposite, trying to get those corners up, generating some offense, and trying real hard for a 3 to tie to go to an extra. Really need these first few rocks to stay out of the house here. Try and maximize the amount of time that they have with those guards to make something happen before Brooke can start peeling.
Great sweep in there by Simmons. Simon Perry still wants to do things. Almost to the one was really so.
Like to get this one a bit more off the center here. But overall, a really nice guard there from lead Adrian Mercer on Team Boland.
And that's a big rock too. Couldn't afford it.
So still certainly lots of time here.
Now Camille throwing another draw in. Trying to clutter up that 4-foot once again. Another effort from Brooke Godsland to defend her title as Rick Rowsell Women's Champion. Brooke and Erin and Sarah played last year with lead Kate Patterson and won the event. So they're looking to get that title second year in the row, while Sarah Boland is trying to steal the title here.
He's got 2 corners, so you could roll it either way.
So Sarah Boland now trying to make some kind of play on those middle rocks to open up her scoring area. She's looking for a 3, but no, she's playing the other corner guard.
Yeah, she's setting up double corners here, which is
I missed the call, so
that's what I'd expect to see here, and her just trying to get some stuff up front.
Don't want it in, ladies. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think they wanted that a little more off the line. But regardless,
took a hair bit more ice there, but
Brooke still can't hit them. So play a guard in the middle.
and guarding that center there,
So
Mark,
if she plays
too.
a tight guard, and at some point in time, Hill's going to have to do something with it, because if she gets going to score 3, she's got to move that rock off the button.
Exactly. And that if Brooke puts up this guard too, Mark, that cuts off both the corners from the center line side, forcing her to go around into a wider path, which they haven't played as much. But again, she will have to do something about that top guard to move those 2 yellow rocks that are
Yep.
in the 4-foot line there.
So you got to figure out a way to get to her.
Hard sweep here from Camille Burt for the curl.
She might just rub off that and get the guard, which is that's all fine too. Not quite. So that opening is big enough to come through and make that double, and you might get a little roll behind one of the corners with your shooter. So this could be a big monumental swing in this end.
Having those staggered corners there, Mark, too, is also really
Well, that's
beneficial
the
to
side
Sarah, right?
That's the preferred side to roll to.
Exactly. There's no run that Brooke can play. She'd have to play the double peel before she could go after a rock behind those.
Back 4, back 8. Now, allow Simmons, he's got 2 choices. He either draws right to it.
Looking at about board weight here by the looks of it.
Nullifies that rock.
Yeah, just board here.
That's the run back.
Trying to get that roll underneath the staggered corners there.
So I think you want to come behind that, get as much separation as possible. And Simmons is having a decision to make.
Probably be show a little tiny piece on the center line side and sort of dim them.
Looks like she might be opting to roll to the side with the single corner. I don't know if that was indication of a plan B, but that was indicated there.
I think the main point of the shot here is to get the rock off the 1 foot.
Yeah, the roll in this case I feel is a bonus.
There they go now to try to curl it.
She's through the hole. It's going to be close. Okay, not
Moves one.
terrible. It's not as good as it could have been, but Brooks going now to open up some guards.
Not sure what else she's looking at.
Definitely learned her lesson over the past few ends. Going straight for the peel here.
There must be a little piece of extraordinary. I thought that was going to be dead buried the way I came up. Or much open.
You try to hit, or you come out and freeze to that, and really put some pressure on Simon Perry. Let Simon Perry to throw last rock and have a high degree of difficulty shot. So
I just see the freeze as being a shot.
And calling the peel here for Sarah McNeil Lambswood. We'll have a nice rock from her here now. See if she can get this whole front moving.
I think that's fairly well covered. The way that
Looking close on the sweep here, but unfortunately just a hair wide and just nicks that top corner there. So unfortunately not moving anything on the double corner side, but it does get that other one out into the wing far enough that it's not in a good spot for Boland to use here.
it's got to be played at minimum of board weight. I think you may lose the shooter.
But I think he will for sure. I don't think there's any chance he can.
Looks like we're opting to straight draw around those staggered corners here now from Sarah Boland.
He just peels it out. Saw it all the way, and they made it. So there's a draw for one.
Doesn't seem too worried about the rock fighting the button there quite yet.
Once again, Andrew Simmons comes up big, makes a shot when he needs to. And now, like you said, Simon Perry will draw. And Simmons may find himself.
Sweeper's on it right away here.
Now, Simon really, this is where they're.
Looking
I don't know. It's going to be
pretty tight for a line here, Mark.
Going to be tight to hold the line. No, she's
No,
on the
just
guard.
on the guard there.
I think she's a little short on weight.
I agree there, Mark. I think with a few more feet there, should have gotten by, but unfortunately just came up a bit late there and crashed on the guard as a result.
What you're paid the big bucks for.
Well, we're in the second half of this end, and right now there's nothing on the outturn or on the intern side where you can get access to the shot rock, and you can still get it on the outturn side. You got a raise available to you. But I still think the shot here is to, well, if you play that guard and you try to knock it that way, you could potentially slash it off the blue and knock it down on your own. If you hit it this way, you might spill it into the rings anyway. Then all of a sudden they're hitting the lie 3. So I think it's almost time to shift gears. And I definitely wouldn't be playing to hit this yacht blue one
No,
in any way, shape, or form.
that's just a bit too dangerous.
I could live with a guard. Now, the only danger in that, if Hill ever plays that long raise and makes it perfect, then you've guarded one of their rocks, and they got 2 covered, and they only need 3. So that's the danger.
I think you'll see Brooke end up playing the peel here that she originally called. I don't think any of the other shots are going to seem as beneficial to her as this will. I said earlier, Mark, while you were away for a few minutes, that she'll probably be looking to keep this end relatively open, just trying to minimize the amount of rocks that Team Boland has in play.
Yeah.
So getting rid of these guards and peeling these will be beneficial to them.
Well, this is a big shot here.
This is a huge shot.
Final of the Rick Rowsell Classic. It is Team Andrew Simmons 5, Team Simon Perry 5. Simon Perry just scored 1 to tie the game, and Rob, we're going to have an extra in to decide this Rick Rowsell championship.
As well it should be.
Big shot.
Aaron Porter.
This can work out really, really well, or you could put yourself in a big hole. But sometimes you got to take a chance.
This truly has been worthy of a
Calling for straight on the sweep here.
No,
Rob, Carter's first rock.
that was the danger of spilling it into the rings.
Yeah, and
Now
unfortunately
Boland's
did
gonna
just
hit
that.
the lie 3. So
Made a determination on
that was the problem with that shot. That's why I never liked that situation, the way the angles were.
Looks like Boland is looking at
If you-
possibly
if you-
drawing around this corner.
If you played it the other turn, even if you slashed and drove one down, the first one would have went out. It would be all open, but Boland would only be lying 1. And it would be wide open. Now if you got a chance to lie 3.
What do you think about this draw around the corner here, Mark? Because
I like it.
that's what she's calling here.
Now all of a sudden they got 3 rocks in the rings,
right, Rob.
and
1 yard here on
Godsland's going to have to think what they're going to do. And Boland has the hammer.
Early on the sweep here, guys.
freshwater motorplex in the summer.
And it doesn't look like it got a ton of weight, but
Really just
I
has
still-
to
I
be
still
there.
think they can get it to the rings. They got to get it in and get as much separation as they can. Deeper the better.
should have gotten together with Wakanda out in the
Play the double.
Not where they wanted it, but I don't think that changes much for Brooke Godsland here. Always trying to get those top 2 gone.
well known for
Just a quick update on the men's sheet here. We have a stream going for them as well, but we're seeing an extra end here with Simon Perry scoring 1 in the 8th end, send them into an extra. So Team Simmons will have hammer in this one for playing for the men's title, the Rick Rowsell Classic men's champions here.
And a
That's
good shot
a
there by Aaron Porter. Makes the
Lovely
double.
shot there.
Situation looks a lot improved for Team Godsland here now. And we're down to Skip's Rocks here now.
so for right now at this minute it's fair.
Or not quite, I think we got 1/3 rock left here.
Yes, I believe
Kelly
we're on
Sharp
the
has one rock left.
last thirds rocks here now.
So they're playing to come around the corner, I believe.
That was the indication here.
those 2 yellows back 4 for those 2 center girls.
She had pretty good weight last time. I just think they had too much ice
Some peeling coming up in a minute.
because they've tightened up the ice considerably from Kelly's first rock.
And really hard on the sweep here to keep it straight. Just curling on them early here.
They
Should
they have to
should
get it in.
have it by. Not quite.
No, that's not
That's
a
a-
good miss.
That's really unfortunate there for
So
for
now
Sarah Boland.
Godsland has a takeout to win the game. because Blue will only have 2 rocks left if Godsland makes the hit on this blue one in the rings, and I don't think that blue rock out front is splittable to get it on, because Boland would need 3 rocks to count to tie the game, and she only has 2 rocks left.
5. Sarah going to the 5 points. Robert into the 3. Brooke taking that deuce. 7.
This is a game-winning opportunity right here. Out-turn hit by Brooke Godsland. She can probably see
Thinking a thick
third,
half.
a quarter to a third anyway.
So Rob, Steve, freaking
And,
Really nice
I
rock
think,
there.
ladies and gentlemen, I think we've just seen the game finish. I don't think they haven't. Boland has not conceded, but I don't know how they're going to get 3 points. I think that blue rock out front is just a little too far off the center line to make that split and get the shoot around. It would be a fabulous shot.
That would be shot of the week if we see that happen here today, Mark.
third now with the double deal. Rob
But it's not over until it's over, so
No.
we're playing the hit and roll here.
guards back into the blue with those 2 yellows in the house. Maybe even put that blue in the back.
And this rock needs to stick around.
The other blue is just after ring. It's much more dangerous. I think he may try to run him too.
Now, if this rock is made here, I suspect if it's fully buried, you'll just see Brooke maybe peel that guard.
Even if this is caught, doesn't matter. She's going to hit whatever the easiest one is. to hit.
Exactly. She's just got to get rid of one of them.
So,
Simon, a chance to put up another berry.
Hard on the sweep here.
Right now,
Trying to keep it straight. It's just moving on
you
him.
can't roll out, or it's the jig is up. No, I think she's going to be okay.
Looks really close here.
No, she's in behind the cover. So Brooks just going to play a hit on that guard.
from Journey, a little yacht rock combo. Yeah. Or there's the Tyler.
Straight peel here, guys.
Well, don't just hit it.
Yeah.
Hit it with takeout weight. It's going to go out. Even if you jam it, then that one goes out. So just got to make it go away. Hit it anywhere.
And I asked her what kind of music she plays, which was 16, 17 years old. And she said she plays classic rock.
Brooke Godsland with her last rock here now, looking for one of these blues to get out of play for the win here.
So right now the odds do not favor Team Boland coming back in this game. Straight takeout, and Brooke is a pretty good hitter. And looks like they're sweeping in here just to keep it clean. And I think the game now is officially over.
Ladies and
For
gentlemen,
good measure, she makes the race. And for the ladies' final, the winner is Team Brooke Godsland, Aaron Porter, Sarah McNeil Lambswood, and Camille Burt, the winners of the 2024 Rick Rowsell Classic Ladies event.
that is Aaron and Brooke and Sarah defending their title from last year, along with the addition of Camille Burt at the lead position this year. So that was a wonderful showing from these ladies' teams.
And it was an entertaining game, Emily, and I'd like to thank you for the broadcasting for the last couple of games. We've
thanks
had
for
a lot
having me,
of-
Mark.
Had a lot of fun, lots of ups and downs.
Absolutely.
Some things we should have said and some things maybe we shouldn't have said, but who cares?
All in the fun, Mark.
It's curling and we're having a good time. Well, folks, we'd like to thank the volunteers, the ice makers, and all the teams that were in this event this weekend. It's been a great week. We still have another game being streamed on the other channel. It is the men's final. It's still going on.
Very good game
It's
over
into an
there.
extra end, but we'll let the men carry on with that one. And it's a wrap here from the Remax Curling Club. Thank you very much, folks. And any last words from Emily?
Thanks for watching, folks. It's been a great weekend, and big congratulations to all the teams who played. Really amazing show this weekend. So be proud and great job.
And last words here now. I'd like to say hi to Mom Neri, who just came in to support our daughter. And she's giving us a wave, and away we go. Thank you, folks.